So we managed to get out of that cave. It was hard knowing that we were leaving and she was still alive, but got the children out. We're at least most of them out. So that's I'll call that a win. It has to be, right? Acrio lost his arm, and I know he's really upset about it, and he won't talk at all.
Can't hold a shield. Can't hold a pair of tongs. I'm gonna get a lot of it'll get better or things like that, but I'm not too sure about that.
Maybe somewhere the church in Silbern can help him. I hope. We encountered a storm while getting there. I also noticed that the corn there, it was almost fully grown, but the season had just started. Maybe they just planted early. They got lucky with a warm wind, but the storm got us stuck in a rut, and we just couldn't get the cart out, and some bandits came out of nowhere. I didn't understand they were bandits at first. I thought they were just asking for a little feed, not so much. But Acrio gave them a barrel full of weapons, and they left us alone, so we managed to get to Silbern without having to fight again.
With the message, the mail, let's see what that is, but I'll have to report into a local church, tell them what's happened, see if they can send a message to Cithabella.
I'm really worried about him. I also have to keep that secret from him, but I really don't want to. He's the first person I met after I woke up. He was really kind to me. I don't want to keep this from him. We met a man at the tavern where we were, and he seemed a little protective of this other man who was drawing a man with a bull's face. So he said it was his son. He told us he was the owner of most of the farmland. Had Lorelei chatted with him for a while, and I kept looking at the drawing, and I don't know, something weird. And the children are safe with one of the guards from Silbern, so I'm just really happy about that. That's just one thing to be happy about in all of this. Let's hope maybe we can get those weapons back somehow.
I have to hang up the old hammer and go back to the farm. See how much they hate me when I come back one limb less and half capable of even pushing a hoe. It's not doing so good right now.
As Acrio is not doing so well in attempting to remove his splint armor, trying to do what it takes to get ready to sleep off the rest of the night, Cillian has offered to assist in Cillian's own way. Everyone downstairs and nearby can probably hear the clattering of Acrio, like throwing pieces of his armor away as he was attempting to doff his armor unsuccessfully, barely even able to get one of the pauldrons off, and eventually accepted Cillian's aid. You've still got that pain racking through your body, just everything, shooting up the stump of your arm, which is bandaged, but still, you can feel it. There's no painkillers that you've been given. As much healing as might have been provided doesn't do anything for the nerve endings. everything you went through in that cave is just like weighing down on you, like a boulder being dropped on your entire body. Cillian, you find that Acrio is having trouble standing straight, like not just standing per se, but like he's constantly kind of doubled over as you're helping him doff his armor. And you finally get the splint breastplate with the bronze eagle disconnected and all the straps taken off, removed, and you find something somewhat disturbing. I'm assuming Acrio just wears, very basic, like a linen shirt or something under his armor.
Yeah, leathers, linen padding.
Yeah. Once the padding and everything is off and it's just the simple shirt, you see just below his rib cage, underneath the shirt, some kind of bulge.
What's going on there, mate?
Do I see this?
I mean, yeah, you hadn't taken your armor off at all since entering the caverns, so this is the first time, other than feeling the pain, which is just part of everything on your body right now. Yeah, you look down and it's like this long, just bulge. Like, it's not so much like a swelling, like a bruise. It's more than that under your shirt. Like it's a protrusion.
It doesn't look good. That's not supposed to be attached to a body.
I'm just like poking at it, like, what the fuck is this?
You can feel it, but it feels almost like when your arm goes numb and you poke it. No offense to missing arms, phantom limbs, but but no, it's like it feels kind of numb. Like you can kind of feel it, but not really.
Does medicine check? Is this what looked like the kids' stomachs were like?
It's very different. I mean, you didn't really disrobe any of the children, obviously. However, what you were told is they had some kind of like worm, and I mean, when you saw them vomit it up, it was like maybe 6 to 8 inches long. This is not that. Are you going to remove your shirt or just?
Yeah.
Do I really have to ask you to remove your shirt?
No, I thought like I'll pull it up and then be like poking at the. See what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of panicking as he throws the shirt out of the way to see what's wrong.
You do get that rumbling, intense pain in your stomach that you had been feeling earlier in the day. Poking at it makes that even worse.
One problem after the other.
Uh-huh.
Cillian, as you're looking at this, basically like a tumor on Acrio's stomach, you see part of it move. Like it bulges out even more and then retracts.
That just moved, Acrio. That just shivered. That's something. Maybe alive.
You're gonna have to punch it. Hit it. Something. Cut it out.
Oh, right. Never in the history of ever has anyone said anything so, like, of course I want to do that.
I grabbed Cillian. I'm like, fucking get Lorelei then.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest.
Go! I shove him.
I'll go downstairs.
Downstairs.
Quickly grab Lorelei.
Lorelei and Asuriel, having pulled up some chairs next to these two farmhands and this very tall, red-headed individual with kind of the messed up side of his face who had been drawing on the window. Lorelei, you've been chatting with the patron of the town, as people seem to refer to him, the wealthiest rancher in the area, Cooper Hillcrest. Seems a little uptight, but he's personable enough. Older, middle-aged to older gentleman. Bushy mustache, slouch hat, vest, and kind of that leathers and rancher style. It's still storming, probably midnight or later at this point. Turned and watched a pair of other individuals enter the Brass Bell Saloon. The first of which, Lorelei and Asuriel, is very strangely dressed in these, not robes exactly, but like a heavy black leather cloak, almost, carrying a bag at his side with a mask covering his entire face, which has this bird-like beak on the front of it and these little glass goggles. And following just behind him, Ben, if you want to describe your character.
Sure. You see a young man. You would gauge him to be 18, maybe 19. You're not quite sure, but still fairly young. Not the tallest one, standing at about 5'7". The two things you notice immediately is that his right arm seems to be completely missing, and you also see, or rather don't see, that the entirety of his right face seems to be, from the looks of it, you can't quite see it because there's hair covering the right side, but you see this incredible amount of scars that seems to run under the hair, that is basically indicating that the entire right side of his face is mangled. And you see basically the same with his throat. It almost looks as if something like a wolf or something has mauled him, tried to rip out his throat, and it's just very, very badly scarred over. The one eye that you can see has an amber color, and when I say amber, I mean like the gems. So it has this sort of almost brightish orange hue to it. And apart from that, he wears rather loose-fitting clothes that you would expect from a Vistani, having this sort of light bluish top that is somewhat buttoned up, as well as the cloth belt and these wide baggy pants that he is sporting. He has white hair that sort of goes to about his back, and you see different braids. The only other thing you notice is that he seems to be carrying this plain-looking, almost worn black leather book that he holds onto.
Asuriel, in contrast to what you've seen of yourself in the mirror with the kind of silver platinum hair, this individual, it's less like a natural color and more like something you would see on somebody who is incredibly old, somebody whose hair lost its color. Like it's not as uniform. There are like some gray streaks and different things like that. It's like his hair was one color and it is gone white.
Just gonna lean over to Laura. Is it possible to be old and young at the same time?
I don't think so. I'm not sure though. Not exactly a scholar.
Then what is he?
I mean, you can go grey from stress.
You can?
Yeah. I might have already.
She's gonna check over Lorelei's head.
As you're looking over Lorelei's head, one of the rooms from upstairs, where there's kind of that wraparound balcony going to the actual rooms, bursts open, and Cillian starts like rushing down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. I
Like
immediately,
almost taking 2 stairs at a time.
bolt towards Lorelei and Asuriel. All right, listen. So, I think problem. Acrio seems to have been growing a child.
Slow down. Breathe. What's
Sure.
happening?
There's something growing out of Acrio.
What?
Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it.
Get
Let's
up. Go up.
Yeah. Go.
Do I recognize anyone?
I don't know that you would recognize anyone's face specifically or what you can see, you would recognize the garb that
Sure.
the one individual is wearing. Definitely a Vistani style.
All right. So I take just a second note of it, but ignore it for now because Acrio is something's happening, and I take him back upstairs.
Amrita, you would be able to hear all of this commotion. Just your hearing being as honed as it is, you can block it out if you want, or just take it in. However, she would process that.
Yeah, I imagine she's kind of sitting down, getting into a meditative state, and she debates. It's like, I've done enough. They don't need help. It's best to cut it off now while I still can.
Then just a visceral scream right over that.
Start poking that bulge.
Yeah,
Oh,
you'd
poke
find Acrio probably sitting on the side of his bed, probably still with his shirt on, but pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna immediately go over and like kneel down and like just kind of inspect this carefully. I'm not gonna touch it, but I'm just gonna like look.
It doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before. I mean, you didn't deal with people for a long time, but it looks very inhuman.
A distance
Acrio, what have you
check?
gotten yourself into?
You don't know what it is, Lorelei?
I haven't seen anything like this. This isn't natural. I don't know what this is.
All right, fuck. We'll need a doctor or something. Because
Acrio, does it
I'm-
hurt?
Yeah, it fucking hurts. Please. I don't care. Cut it out. Heal me after.
I don't have any magic left. If I cut you open, you're gonna bleed.
Wait, don't we still have one potion?
Well, I handed them out. Whoever.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they were all used.
Yeah, I think we
Mhm.
drank them all.
Well, shit.
it moved.
Anyone
It-
proficient in Arcana could make an Arcana check.
Nah,
I'm making
bollocks.
a Arcana check.
Nah. Got medicine only.
Ooh.
wow.
So
Spicy.
Asuriel, even without being super close to it, you can definitely feel that this is something. It feels curse-like, for certain. You're without a means of actually detecting magic, you're hard to know exactly what's causing it, but very clearly you can tell that this is something that has been magically infused onto him.
Wait, that's a curse. That's Wait a minute. Remember when you picked up that rock?
Yeah, I
in the
don't
middle
care,
of the
Asuriel.
circle?
Fix it!
Yeah, but I don't know. It's magical.
We're trying to, pretty boy.
You would
I just
recall with a natural 20 and your connection that you made there, that there was that painted spiral on the ground, those two statues indicating various stages of motherhood, and the bodies in that room, two women who had been disemboweled.
Got the Mpreg curse.
Acrio, she's gonna come over and she's like, kind of gently sort of poke at it to see what it feels like inside, like try and get a shape of this thing.
It's really difficult to get any kind of shape to it, but as you're starting to prod at it, it squirms.
Oh! Acrio,
We're gonna
where's
have
that
to-
rock?
Asuriel, do you have any magic left on you?
I really don't.
Grab my
Acrio,
short
where's the
sword.
rock?
Acrio, one thing at a time.
I stab
Cillian,
myself.
Cillian, wrap. No, hang on a minute. Wrap something in fabric, put it in his mouth. We don't need him screaming and bringing this whole place down.
Sure, we could also just go to the church or something. We don't have to do
I don't
this
think we have
ourselves.
time. I don't think we have time.
Fine.
Put
and
something in his mouth.
I'll grab like a bit of cloth I have from my weaver's kit, and I'll put it in his mouth.
Yeah, I'll bite
And-
down on it and then just like fucking squeeze Cillian's arm with my one functional arm.
I will take his short sword from him, and I will cut him open. You were gonna stop yourself! I'm doing it for you!
It's like you might feel a little sting. Stabs him with his sword.
Yeah, what exactly is your
I'm
process for
slicing.
that?
Oh god.
Just wing it like a baseball bat.
Slicing.
Wait, be careful.
I'd maybe have some
careful.
preciser tools. And a
Anything,
fucking
anything.
short sword. Yeah, I imagine
probably have more-
like a weaver's kit or something like that is like this.
Yeah, get
like
something.
a relatively more useful
I mean-
tool for this.
Possibly. I mean, you've got
Or
scissors.
scissors.
Yeah,
Small-
exactly.
You have
Yeah.
a small pair
I
of
have a
scissors.
knife, though I probably shouldn't use that knife, because that knife is probably filthy.
I'll just give her my original scissor blades.
Okay. And I will cut him off.
Okay. Lorelei's had to do surgeries on herself before, living in the wilderness. You know, things have happened. Nothing quite this intensive. And it's different when it's on somebody else. There's kind of that phantom pain because when you're used to slicing skin, you expect to feel it on yourself. It's very strange to be doing that and you don't actually feel anything.
Empathetic pain.
But as you're starting to slice the skin and blood starts to pour out of it,
I'm so
you start to
sorry.
see this like deep red, flesh-like thing that then like twists, and there's this black-eyed face staring back at you, which just screeches, and these arms pierce out from the slice that you've made and start to pull its way out of Acrio's skin. How does everyone react to that?
Fucking hell.
I actually feel a
Um,
little sick right now.
I stab it.
Okay.
Does this? I think this would kind of remind Lorelei of that weird thing that like came out of Lars once. So I think she freezes at the side of it and just kind of just freezes completely.
Can I get
Great.
Argon out and stab?
I mean, yeah, you can whip out a blade real quick. Acrio, I'm gonna have you roll percentile real quick.
Oh, cool.
It's a boy.
Can I lose another arm? Oh, I can lose another arm.
You manage to hold in the shriek as best you can. You guys can see his face is just turning red from biting down on this cloth so hard. Looks like his teeth are about to bleed, and you're at like 1 hit point, right?
Yeah.
So there's no point in rolling for damage because you're just gonna go unconscious no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna pass out, and I need everyone else to roll initiative.
Alright, I'll be back. You guys have fun.
I'm so sorry.
Oh shit.
I'm so sorry.
Natural 1, nice.
So Cillian, I'm gonna have you go first because you were first. You fumble a bit with the sword because it's just like you can't take your eyes off of it. But since you were the first to react in that way, you're the first to go.
Okay. Yeah, it's not pretty this time. He's not like flourishing. He just.
Yep.
Do I? Is it engaged with anyone else?
Not really.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's fine.
I mean, it's clawing its way out of Acrio's stomach.
Mm-hmm. Then I'll just offhand it.
But these are with that will also hit with silvered weapons. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
As it's starting, as you stab into it, and it starts to pull its way out further from Acrio, you can see that it is still somewhat like connected to his intestines. Like it's not completely separate. And at this point, Acrio is going to take some damage from those as well. sharing in that. I will say that's enough to sever the creature from him, but he looks like he is also starting to bleed out profusely from his stomach.
1 death.
That was 2 hits.
Oh, okay.
So 1 for each is how I'm going to do that. And Asuriel.
Gonna go, eep! Back the fuck off and cast Mind Sliver.
When this happens, this creature being stabbed and sliced from the flesh from which it was growing emits this incredibly shrill squeal as its black eyes start to scan the room. You see these horns start to protrude out of its head. It is covered in blood, but it is also like a deep red colored thing.
Fuck.
This thing seems to be, it's not so much that it's incredibly intelligent per se, but it is, with your natural 20 a minute ago, you think that this thing is a completely mana-based creature.
That thing's making a magic.
And Lorelei, you can also see that it has been damaged, especially by these silver swords. Cillian's blades cause it to like smoke come out of its wounds as it's like almost like boiling. But Acrio looks very much the worse for wear from that as well.
Okay. Bonus action, spare the dying on Acrio. I don't know how much that's going to do, but I'm doing it anyway. That's all I can do. I'm gonna take out the flail and just try and bap it upside the head. I'm not concentrating on anything, so it's just gonna be a spider bear. Nope. She's frozen a little bit. She's in freeze right now.
You swing. You don't want to hit Acrio as you're trying to stabilize him, even from a distance. And this thing is very quick. It ducks under, scurries over Acrio's face as he's passed out over the bed, just like smearing blood over him onto the sheets as it turns and is like squealing at you. It is going to do this to Cillian because you were the one who actually did the most to it.
Hey!
I think he just is so genuinely concerned for Acrio that he fights through it for him.
This creature then, just shrieking loudly, everyone in the entire saloon can hear this. Something is going on. And the screaming that comes from the upper rooms is usually not quite like this. As
distinctively
Cillian,
unsexy screams.
You are not afeared.
So, what's the state of the creature right now? It's like crawled its way entirely out because it is severed. But
yes, it is, and it's still kind of within 5 feet of everybody because this room's pretty small. But it's just kind of on the bed. You look like it's poised to leap, probably.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing something more creative, but stabby stab is just the best option right now, I think. So I'll just go for just a straight thrust.
And at this point, I'm going to say you would get sneak attack because of everybody clustered around this thing, and it no longer being attached to Acrio.
Oh, the bloody should be removed.
Sure, yeah. And still, that's 10 plus 15 with silvered weapons. What is Cillian's method of destroying this thing?
Alright, so he thrusts into this like creature made entirely of mana. And as he does, no one else sees this, but he knows like Riken is holding the sword with him, and it just glows for just a second, and the energy of the creature seems to seep into it for just a second, and then it just disperses.
And it does. There's a burst, not so much of blood, but of this red light and mana that just shatters. And it, like, if you've ever seen like a shrapnel grenade against a wall, there's like pieces of it lodged into the walls, and it's like red streak marks.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Is he okay? Is Acrio okay?
He's stable. He should be. I'm gonna go up to Acrio and just like kind of just like pat his cheek and like feel his neck just to make sure that his pulse is still there.
Make a medicine check.
I'm rolling like shit today.
You can detect a pulse, and despite the fact he's not actively dying, he's slowly dying because his guts are severed, like his intestines have been cut and are partially hanging out the side of his body.
I think there was a doctor
and his-
downstairs. Run and get him.
And his pulse is very faint.
I jump out of the room, kick the door open, and just, I need a fucking doctor here now! To the entire room.
Most of the people, the cowhands, just kind of like mostly drunk, start looking around like what the fuck's going on. But there is one individual sitting in the corner that you had just briefly seen come in these black leathers, and this mask just slowly stands up and points to his companion to grab his bag.
Yeah,
Kind of
he
like
moves
adjusts his coat, his hat. It's weird, you can't see his face. He's got this mask on that you've... Actually, Cillian may have seen before. I don't think any of the others would. It's not, I mean, not this specific one, but this kind of style, as this individual begins ascending the stairs.
Yeah, Val is following close after, bag in hand, kind of
Took
putting
care
his
of the
book
danger,
away.
but our friend is dying.
The man in the mask, his voice is a bit muffled. Show me.
Thanks. And I'll lead him inside.
He starts to scan the room. You can't exactly tell where he's looking because his goggles are covering his eyes and the rest of his face is obscured. But he just starts looking over. Boiling water.
Is there any means of getting boiling water quickly?
I mean, you're in a saloon, so
Yeah,
theoretically
fair,
they
then,
could boil some.
Yeah, Val is just hurrying downstairs to get some water. Kind of he did he see like the, I assume it's fucking carnage in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he is not trying to look. He is just going downstairs to get some water.
Yeah, it kind of
I do
like
not see
half
it.
drops the bag, backing out, and the individual in the mask, this weird bird-like beak, takes the bag, opens it up, and someone help me move him onto the bed.
Okay.
Which Acrio's already partially, but he's kind of like hanging off the side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
helps
Pull him back
his
up.
legs. Yeah, pulls the bloodied sheets off and sets to work.
Lorelei is not leaving Acrio's side the whole time. She's like staying there, like one hand on his shoulder.
As soon as Val has procured water, he will try to enter the room.
Most of the bloodied rags and that sort of thing have all been kind of like pulled off and piled up to the side. The walls are splattered, but not with blood. It's more like almost like burn marks in this like red coloration.
Okay. Yeah, then he's just kind of trying to look on the floor as best as he can for now, kind of keeping away from the bloody rags, and then just kind of sitting the pot with boiling water down next to the doctor, kind of giving him a look, kind of this little nod. For yeah, he would try to look, see the extent of the damage with this patient.
Go ahead and make a medicine check. There's plenty you can see obviously, but for more of the details.
Yeah. Okay. That's you know.
Is that a plus 37? Oh,
Oh,
never mind.
that should have rolled publicly, but yeah, it was a 10, so
Yeah, you can obviously see the side is torn open. That's where the doctor is working most diligently. But Acrio's fairly bruised up and beaten. He's got like small bandages, and his right arm is also severed. It's hard to tell exactly, but it looks like right at the elbow. Maybe the joint had been torn off.
Okay. Yeah, then Val kind of backs away from that. Doesn't want to get too exposed to all of that, but he
Just
will
as you're
stay.
doing, the doctor like snaps his fingers and points to his bag. Starts demanding certain tools.
Yeah, he just reaches in and hands them.
Yeah. Difficult to root around because they also only have one arm. And you can all see that he's a bit clumsy with it. Doesn't seem to have been his main hand, but this white-haired individual assists as best as he can with the doctor, who goes about starting to sew up various pieces of Acrio.
As he's doing that, I send a message to Lorelei. And so, in like a weird old man voice, you hear, it's them. Boy in the mirror, and the bird. The man already saw this. I shouldn't have called him creepy. And that's it.
I mean, he's pretty creepy, but
He is pretty creepy, yeah.
Yeah, nobody.
Based on past experience, I know that I can respond to these, right?
yeah,
Like, yeah. She's just gonna-
silently, yeah.
yeah, she's just gonna mumble back, like, maybe we should ask them once this is done.
I just nod.
Just stays at Acrio's side.
You gonna be okay?
Val just looks to the doctor, kind of before looking to Asuriel, and just kind of basically telling him not to disturb the doctor while he's working.
All the while, he's got these, the one with two hands, has these, like, gloves he doesn't even remove while he's working, black leathers, but you can see that, like, bloody shine on them periodically, and he'll grab a towel and wipe them at intervals during his work. It takes a good long while before everything is kind of put back where it should be inside of Acrio. He's gone incredibly pale. Eyes are almost as sunken in as Lorelei's at this point.
Almost.
Yeah, not quite, but almost.
Yeah, not halfway back into the skull.
Hey!
You can tell he's just about done with his work as he's like starting to pull threads and snip the tied off portions. You can see these like stitched up areas. It seems like he's done a little bit more than just this open wound. Some of the other cuts on Acrio, he's gone about patching those up as well. He goes to stand up straight. He'd kind of been leaning over him this whole time. You can hear his back almost like pop in a couple different places as he's wiping down his gloved hands and putting the bloodied rags with the rest of them. Doesn't seem to indicate to his assistant to do anything with the bloodied rags, interestingly. But he will turn to the rest of you, specifically to Asuriel, holding out a hand, still gloved and mostly not bloodied anymore.
She'll kind of look at it, like not sure what to do for a second before shaking it. Thank you so much for helping.
If he's alive in the morning, he'll live.
Thank you, really.
There's a chance he won't live?
It's always a chance.
I'll make it. It's Acrio, I'll make it.
He'll be fine. Sure he will be.
Just kind of turns. You want to look for his eyes, but you can't see any part of his face. It's very inhuman and impersonal, but he'll reach out a gloved hand to you as well. Dr. Mueller.
Cillian Vistani.
I was just pulling out a sheet of paper, just handing it to Cillian.
It's not quite a sheet of paper, but it's like a small card, and
Here's my business card.
this is what you see on it.
You Vistani. kind of turn the card so that everybody can see. Nice to meet you.
Valerie?
Do you prefer Valerie or Val? One or two?
He reaches for the card and covers the latter half of the name up so that it spells Val.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for helping.
Doctor starts to clear away some of the bloodied rags, bundling them up. Got this massive bloodied sheets and rags in his arms. Would say, "He's actually quite clever. For Vistani, it can be one of the few benefits to their proclivities." Turns away from Cillian to Lorelei. "Inbreeding."
No reaction.
Cillian
Kind of
holds
looks
it
past the
in.
doctor at Cillian and just gives him just like a.
Cillian holds it in because he saved Acrio just a second ago, but ooh, he's especially if he's turned around, he's fuming.
I mean, he then would take this massive sheets to be burned.
How is Acrio looking right now? Well, besides being pale and, unconscious as fuck.
I mean, those are the two main things.
Well,
Okay.
I'm
And,
looking pretty hot. Agro is just a delicious snack of a guy.
I mean, he's sweating.
Yeah, hot, sweaty, bare-boned body.
Val would kind of look at Acrio, then kind of look back at the rest, point from him to Acrio, kind of indicating that he wants to do something if he's allowed.
Oh.
Go ahead.
And he will just move and kind of reaching into like the small satchel on his hip, kind of reach in there, and you can see both a syringe that he seems to be pulling out, as well as something that looks like a little bottle with some sort of reddish liquid in it that you folks would probably recognize to some extent as some sort of healing catalyst, kind of based off of like a healing potion or something, that he kind of just loads the syringe up with and kind of tries to inject Acrio with as gently as possible.
You
Deals
notice
1
that-
point of piercing damage.
Whoops.
Fuck.
You would notice that Dr. Mueller had in no way given any sort of painkillers to Acrio at all.
So yeah, he's trying to kind of remedy that, kind of make this healing process easier for Acrio. So you will heal 8 hit points.
Oh, yay.
Still
Okay,
unconscious,
wake up
but
and kill everybody.
no, he's still unconscious, but a bit of the color kind of flushes back into Acrio's cheeks, as like his sweaty hair is like stuck to his pale forehead.
Thank you,
Just
cousin.
kind of, yeah, Val, you can see him kind of tense up, putting back the syringe, and then just kind of looking at everybody, kind of indicating that he needs to go, and just rushes out.
He rushes out, rushes back in and grabs the doctor's bag, and then rushes back
Yeah,
out again.
probably. It's like, ah,
oh,
shit.
shit.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, he doesn't
Do-
meet Gideon's gaze like at all.
They
Doctor,
both left.
is he not still in the
Yeah,
room?
they left.
He-
They both left.
Yeah,
Oh.
he took the bundle of bloody sheets and rags downstairs.
I missed
Let's
that.
just
sorry.
cleaning up after him.
Then I'll just say, I know he just saved his life, but fuck that guy.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Seemed kind
Thanks.
of mean at the end.
Hope he didn't
People
put
have their
something else in
prejudices.
Acrio.
I don't think you would have.
Speaking of, where's the rock? The rock you picked up in the cave.
I told you
Picked
not to
up a
pick it
lot of things in the cave. Why
We
the
know which
rock?
rock. We know which rock Asuriel means. Shut up, you're asleep.
Yeah, but like, why the rock? Could be the knife.
Because
I mean,
Because,
given
so-
the two women that you had seen right next to it, who also had their guts ripped open, so
Yeah.
there's a strong indication.
Plot twist, Acrio swallowed the rock.
Oh god.
Well,
Time for a rectal
Well-
exam. Sorry.
My god.
Somebody flip him
that'll be
over.
somewhere nearby.
They'll probably be in his bag.
Just don't touch it.
We'll
right,
just
but we need to get rid of that thing.
move the bag to the corner of the room. We'll take it to the church as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to make sure he's going to be okay.
Need to go there anyway.
Yeah. I can keep an eye on him for the night if you guys want to sleep.
I mean, should we? We could take shifts for it. There's no reason anyone has to stay up. We're all exhausted.
Oh, we'll be fine.
Sorry to barge into your private shared room, Cillian.
Yeah, it was just getting steamy in here.
What?
I'm
No.
not even gonna ask how you saw him without his shirt on. Anyway,
Oh,
Where's
it's
the
fine.
steam coming from?
don't ignore it, Asuriel.
Oh, you are like a child sometimes, you know?
I am?
And we're gonna keep her that way.
Oh no, innocence gets corrupted so fast here.
Not by you.
I'll
When
try
she
my
finds
best.
out, she'll find out the right way.
I cannot promise a thing.
You're gonna.
We're in a brothel. She's gonna find out the hard way.
No pun intended.
Very, very hard.
We'll take shifts, Asuriel. You'll take the first one, and you'll wake me up. Yeah? Because I am exhausted. Cannot lie.
Maybe you can take the room with Lorelei, and so you don't have to stay here with all the blood and the scorch
We can
marks.
just switch out. We can just switch out from there. I'll take the floor. It's fine.
Don't have to. But I'll
you
take
said
the bed.
you said you didn't want to be stuck with me. I'm trying to help you out.
Well, I'll be sleeping through most of it, thankfully.
Do you snore?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
But you can punch me in the face if I do.
Okay, I will. I don't get
Just
lost.
marriage at that point, y'all.
Yeah, and I'll go to sleep.
Yeah. The on-call room for looking after Acrio.
She was gonna stick by him.
Lorelei's very reluctant to leave. And she pretty much has to, like, drag herself out of the room.
Taking shifts and trying to stay awake through the night, the only thing you can really do is like fluff up Acrio's pillow, make sure he's looks as comfortable as possible, you know, lay a clean sheet over him. You suspect he needs to like keep fluids up, but it's like getting him to like sip while he's unconscious is very difficult. Starts to kind of choke every once in a while, but you manage to get a little bit of fluid into him. This thunderstorm in the background continues to rage, beating down on the town. Flashes of lightning punctuate the evening, making it a little bit difficult for some of the lighter sleepers to even get any rest with these constant booms. But Acrio, roll 1d3, please.
Alright. How many limbs do I have now?
I know it's how many you lose.
Ah, sick. One arm.
Then that's it. Both legs are gone.
Damn.
Both
Hey,
kidneys have
Stumpy!
been removed.
Walking Dead.
You wake
so
up-
moving
Mine.
forward.
You wake up briefly during the second shift, and Cillian's face is kind of blurred, but you see the pattern more than anything else.
Sorry, I'm eating. You would probably actually be eating.
Brought snacks.
Got a hunk of cheese. They would have had cheese at the
Oh my God.
ready front, down at the saloon bar. It's kind of that pale, crusted cheese on the outside with like a kind of like the blue vein through it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I
Hey, buddy.
doesn't even bother speaking, just like
coughs up like viscera and blood that's got caught in his throat as he kind of shifts in bed. Not everything kind of equates up to like grumbles and groans and not really being there.
Yeah, and then rather quickly falls back asleep. When it feels like morning, still very dark and clouded. There's no sun ever in Stensia, but this thick cloud cover has made it even like more dim, but it feels like it should be morning. You get kind of that vague bluish light. I think it was Lorelei the third shift.
Probably.
Yeah, then you would be the one at this point keeping an eye on him. There is a clock on the wall of the room, so it's reading about 7:30 almost.
Yeah. She just like sat at the foot of the bed, and every so often she just like wipes any like, you know, hair clinging to a sweaty forehead, just stares at the wall.
It's like you had seen Cillian's face at first, and then that kind of faded out, and then as you've regained consciousness again, and it's just a little bit lighter in the room, the face morphs into Lorelei.
How functioning is my body right now?
You received some painkillers, some healing concoctions, so it's still it's more like an intense ache than a shooting pain. You can sit up and move. Like you do have 8 hit points, so it's like once you regain consciousness, you are functional.
Got it.
And everybody is
Yeah.
able to get in a short rest. So if you would get a hit die, and if you had any extra, you can go ahead and roll them.
Whoa! None of that
Do you
works.
get 1 hit die back? How does it work again?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I immediately spend it?
Yeah, exactly.
What does the level of what is the level?
When
level
you're
of supply
in
do?
an urban environment,
It doesn't matter?
Yeah, you count as
Okay.
having minimum of 3 normal
Okay.
rules, because you have access to things that you need, like food and shelter and
Is my
other
HP reduction
supplies.
still functional? Because that's until a long rest, right? Or is that
Yeah, your HP is still minimized
Okay.
from the vampire bite.
tasty?
Come morning, a show of hands, who all is still bleeding?
Oh yeah, point of exhaustion. Yeah, me. Wait, yes, me.
Actually, I think if I roll the one, can you roll the one that you just got that day?
Mhm.
What is that?
Yeah,
Okay,
if you
then I
had
will roll
any
that. I will
in
prob-
prior, yeah, you can get another one.
Oh boy, just above bloodied. I just made it.
Yeah, Amrita would be fine.
Cillian, you're above half.
Yeah, I'm full. It's annoying how
okay.
spry he is in the morning.
Oh, you're a morning person, are you? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Asuriel and Acrio then will be the two who do have a point of exhaustion. Asuriel having gotten like no sleep in the first part of the night, taking a shift. It was long, and then you feel like you didn't get enough after that. Plus, wounds are still seeping. But yeah, Amrita, how did she approach this morning after having listened to all of that?
Well, seeing as she wasn't able to properly meditate in the night, she's kind of finds herself disturbed about past events happening way too similarly again, but remains in the room and tries to wake up before dawn and sort of get in a meditative state again. Is there some kind of mirror in the room that she's in?
Just, yeah, a small vanity.
All right, she will make sure the bandana is off and kind of like move her hair to the side and sort of position it lower to her as she sits on the ground staring at the goat eye. We're alone now. You said you would help me if we were alone and it was quiet.
Those were your conditions.
As long as you don't make any comments again about the wolf, at this time. Remember, I can easily get rid of you.
We are on a shared journey, 3 of us.
So how do we do this then? Do I just concentrate, close my eyes as if I was regularly meditating, and you handle the rest?
Where are we going?
Someplace I don't want to revisit and will probably regret revisiting again, but it might give me some answers. I need to go back to the night that it happened, if possible. If not there, then at least the woods that we were in before, when the doctor was still alive.
We know this place.
She inhales deeply and she stares at herself in the eye in the mirror one more time, and then just inhales and closes her eyes, focusing onto that place.
It's interesting because you close your eyes, but you can still almost see yourself in the mirror with your eyes closed, as if you're seeing what the eye is looking at. It's like not an exact picture, but it's like in the back of your mind. You can still, it's like flashes in and out almost. We have no memories of our own. No place to store them. We connect with yours. We wander these halls. We will help you look.
Follow the music first.
Where are we going?
It was near an abandoned church before that. Further in the woods, there was something else there. Something watching. Before the music box was disappeared, and it was there.
You start to hear this familiar tune that you've played before. Notes from this music box that you lost so many years ago. And it's like a guide. You feel yourself moving through the forest, and that familiar sense of being watched is ever present. Are you attempting to shut the wolf out from this experience?
For now, yes.
Okay. Make a sanity saving throw, please. There are moments as you're moving through these woods, you see a flash of movement in the distance somewhere, a rustling of the tree branches. You kind of like turn, you see like this streak of green almost, but maybe it was just the leaves themselves in the woods. Turn back and focus on the sound as it's like being led by the hand, but you're alone and not at the same time. Where are we going?
I think there was some kind of river. There was something there following me before I got to that church. Try to see if we can go that way.
Roll a percentile.
Oh boy. I am terrified out of my mind. Ooh.
You start to hear the trickling of water. A brook. It's not far away, and you immediately start to move toward that direction, and a wall of fire comes up in front of you. The entire forest looks like it's ablaze. There's smoke starting to choke you out.
This can't be right.
You fall slightly toward the side on one of the trees, and as you It doesn't feel like bark. You look over and it's a wall. It's the inside of your house. You start stumbling forward, searching through the flames. You come upon a body. It's covered with smoke and haze. You can barely see it, but it is blackened as you're stumbling back, repulsed by the intense smells of it. This way is blocked.
No. There's gotta be a way to get through here.
How?
What happens if she sticks her hand out to one of the flames?
What do you think would happen?
Probably very hot.
As you're in this burning house, the music is still playing all around you. This twinkling music box like sound. You reach your hand into the flame. You see a cut appear along your arm, and the flames start to absorb into it.
This is all my mind. It's not real. If I can get past this, if I could somehow move this flame.
The flame is not the barrier.
Are you saying I have somehow blocked it from my mind without realizing it?
We don't know this. We only know the blockage.
How do I get rid of the blockage?
How does one scale a wall?
Damn it. Gotta go back. It's not real, but I feel my lungs are on fire.
Feels good.
She's gonna try to find a way out of this house.
Does she leave the body behind?
Does it even look like she can reach for it or pull it?
Possibly.
She's gonna try and reach for the body.
The clothes are mostly singed off at this point, seared onto the flesh. As you grab the legs and start to pull, you drag this corpse through the halls, barely able to see with the smoke around you. There's a burst through the door of just flames and smoke as you pull them out. It's like that moment in a dream where you can kind of see yourself, but you're not yourself anymore. If you've ever experienced that, where it's like you know this person is you, but it doesn't feel like you. You feel yourself and almost see yourself as a young, I think about 16 years old, dragging this body out of your house. You're not even sure if it's your mother or your father, but you see the house engorged in flames.
It's the exact house she grew up in, too, isn't it? Oh. Yeah, she immediately just kind of like starts panicking, hyperventilating, unable to like control this moment in this scenario. Oh. We're not here anymore. We're not here anymore.
Your eyes
The letter.
flicker open, and you see the room, the brass bell in. That intense pain of smoke inhalation is still burning in your lungs.
Yeah, she almost kicks the mirror back and everything and tries to go and grab it, but I imagine it would probably like shatter, and she just like grasping like at her throat and her chest.
We'll go back for the next one. In time.
By this point, I don't know if she would hear anybody moving outside or people that are awake.
The only thing you can really hear is the droplets of rain on the roof and the walls and on the glass window of the room. It's not as storming nearly as much, but it's still a fairly heavy rain.
Yeah.
And
she's
interestingly,
gonna-
last night you had that the meal that the captain Casper Lowe had purchased for you all, and you had kind of eaten around that like cheese sauce they had laid over it. But in the morning, you find yourself, you're a little bit parched, and you have like this intense craving for that cheese. That flavor is like, suddenly it's the most intensely delicious sounding thing.
the fuck? She's gonna quickly try to clear up those glass shards though, and stick them in like maybe a pillowcase, and try to take them out.
Sure. Is anyone else downstairs when glass shatters and Amrita comes out of her room kind of carrying a bag of glass?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
That would be.
Fucking psychopath?
Asuriel was sleeping in.
Good
Yeah.
morning. Looks like you had a fun night.
Yeah, Marita's got her hood up. She's quickly like trying to get to the door, but clearly if Cillian noticed her out of that, she's like, just sleep. I gotta throw something out. There's strange commotion going on last night, I heard.
Yeah. Thanks for helping. Strange You heard Acrio screaming, you didn't even come. Are you fucking insane? Do we mean that nothing to you? I know you heard. And you can keep putting up this act of not caring, which you probably don't because you actually didn't come. But you don't get away with it. Now don't let me stop you. Throw at your fucking glass. And let us die in peace.
Yeah. Amrita takes all that in, inhales, and just goes back and walks out, not really having a response for that because he's not wrong, but it's like,
Cillian, can I have you make an insight check?
Sure.
And actually, before you do that, I need you to roll a d4.
D4, coming right up. I didn't know that was coming, and it just came out of my mouth.
And sometimes the muse takes you. Let it.
it takes you.
Your strength score is increased by 2, and your wisdom score is decreased by an equal amount. And then you can make an insight check.
Okay. Permanently, or should I like note it down somewhere?
I have your stats save. It's not. It's
Okay.
possibly permanent, but not definitely.
Then
Would
I'll
you
just
take
change it.
Would you take a Stensian brew?
See the how he smelled.
Nice.
Very nice. As you kind of like sit back in the corner booth, almost under the stairs, leading upstairs, where you had almost ambushed Amrita on her way down. You look around the room. There's a decent number of people gathered in the Brass Bell Inn. Most of the tables are full, even. A lot of them soaking wet, and it seems like nobody's paid attention to this outburst. Like, not even side glances. It's like they weren't even aware it was happening.
Just a regular Tuesday.
I kind of waved to someone. Did they seem to notice?
Yeah, if you make some kind of contact, it's Stinzia, so it's mostly curt nods in your direction, but
Sure.
it's not
Sure.
like you're
He was
invisible.
just scared
per
he
se.
got pulled into the ghost world for a second.
It's a legitimate concern.
It's like,
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Am I in the ether now with spiders? Probably. Oh man,
Somebody
that'd be...
pinch me.
Ah.
But yeah, I'll just wait for the rest to come downstairs. Have food ready.
Is the plan to wait for Acrio to come downstairs, or are you going to bring something up to him?
Yeah, that makes more sense, eh? Yeah, I'll bring some food upstairs.
Sobbing and hobbling down the stairs.
Come get it! Ding ding ding!
Is he awake yet?
Probably just sitting on the side of the bed. Just
Despite Lorelei's protests to stay laying down.
Yeah. She tried to get him to like stay down, but then she's just like sat next to him, just like, all right.
You could use the energy, mate. Give him some more cheese-covered shit.
The breakfast, yeah, it's like mostly scrambled eggs, and they do like the Australian breakfast, steak and eggs. The eggs have like it's not the same cheese sauce, but it's like a cheese drizzle over the eggs.
not the same. Yeah. Just he picks up the fork, thanks Cillian, and then goes for the knife. Wait a second. Like he's so close to like throwing the plate, but kind of holds himself back and just kind of starts eating things like half whole, like just picking up a whole egg, eat that. Yeah, thanks.
I was gonna ask how you're feeling, but I know, so I won't ask. I do want to say, I know you don't want to hear it, but the old man said to watch out for someone in a mirror and a bird. We met them last night. I fully believe we can fix this, Acrio. Somehow. And they're the key. And although he was an asshole, I think he might be wanting to help.
Starting to think I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
Okay. We have a lot to do today. Don't know where the first stop's gonna be, but try and get help.
Yeah. I'll just be here. I need to take a stop to the post office. But,
Do you think you can?
well, luckily I still have 2 legs.
Sorry.
It's just we can do anything that you need.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of starts to stand up, and then like the stitching kind of like strains against his stomach and like reddens a bit, and he just kind of falls back down
Oh,
and holds it.
like arm around his shoulder.
Yeah, sure. I don't know where the post office is here, but I think that's all I need done today. Payment collected from the captain as well.
Which is a question because, I mean, you haven't actually quite delivered everything. I mean, it's on your cart, and only half of your supplies. Are you planning on?
Yeah.
What exactly is your plan to handle that?
Probably wait another day till I'm feeling full for a long rest, and then go fucking slaughter some bandits. Show up with a hammer and bludgeon their skulls into visceral paste.
So that's actually a question because I know I think it was Asuriel last session was like, we're just gonna kill them, right? Because they're bandits. But in character, within the context of Innistrad, besides Amrita, has anyone actually killed a human before?
Yes.
In a
Many
dream?
times.
Oh, he went there.
What do you mean
He
many
went.
times? What does that mean for Lorelei?
Well, I killed some people in Yon's mansion. Didn't really want to, but I did. And it's one of those situations where it's like, it's either them or me. And if they started it, she'll finish it. It's not like she's gone after people to be like, I'm gonna kill them. But yeah, and I mean, thinking about killing some bandits, she probably does like thumb through some of the pages in her journal that have like the very detailed plans that she has, and that probably helps her steel herself just a little bit to the thought, because like I can't wuss out on that.
Has Cillian ever had to kill a person before?
Pretty sure I killed a kid a few sessions ago.
It's true. It was that was
It's a monstrous child.
Rich monster, kid. But yes, it was. Yeah, and how is he feeling about the prospect of continuing that line of work?
Okay, so he definitely before that hasn't killed anyone. Pretty adverse to the idea. Tensions have been high on certain occasions, but he hasn't personally killed someone, and he's been kind of ignoring the child killing part, like compartmentalize it and deal with it later.
Right.
And other than that, I think it's hard to say. He has kind of personally comes to terms with death, but he realized other people haven't, and sort of need that time. So I think he'd doubt it. He maybe couldn't go through with it.
Has Asuriel woken up and joined the others yet, or is she still snoozing?
She has 1 point of exhaustion, 6 HP. She's sleeping.
Gotcha. But out of character, I mean in character, but out of character. I'm sure she has no memory of ever killing a person before. But how do you think she would react to the idea of it? Because Innistrad is definitely a setting where, yeah, you go out and kill monsters, and werewolves are kind of close to humans, and then vampires are humanoid, but for the most part, people who kill things kill monsters. You don't kill other humans.
She's not a fan of it, to say the least. She probably would try to discourage it. Like, maybe yes, attack them and to try and get the weapons back, but whatever we do, don't kill them.
Worst person, like, again, she never really thought of that, and the only person that she had thought really deserved to die was because he hurt innocent people, which would have been beyond for what he did to the people that protected her and raised her, because they literally did nothing besides that and were just traders and of like sheeps and stuff and wool. So it's something like that. But even then, she doesn't want to do that and feels like revenge or something like that can cloud your mind, and there's consequences. And she feels like if it happens again, like in some way, the angels are punishing her for that happening, which is why when the other thing happened, it's like, this is punishment because you let yourself get focused on revenge and all this stuff. So it's like, I don't know, like a yin and yang kind of deal if you think about it.
There's also the fact that you would be aware the werewolf, people associate werewolves with mauling humans, that sort of thing. Even if that desire to hunt has never specifically manifested that way in Amrita herself, you would know that that's the way people think the instinct works. So
yeah, and that's kind of why,
mentally goes against that.
Yeah.
And what about Acrio? Like, in character, what would be his actual perspective on this, being a Cathar of the church?
Once it comes time to actually having the hammer in front of their face and like debating whether turning them into a pool of blood or not, pretty much he didn't sign up for this. He's not here to kill people. He's angry, but he's here to help and be a smith, not judge whether people are worthy of a life or not.
And that would be actively against the Cathar training, which is all about protecting people, protecting humans against everything else in the world. Like, Cathars are aware that they're bandits and that sort of thing, and they're inquisitors, murderers do get executed, that sort of thing, but the general training is humans are the ones you protect, and you don't. Most Cathars are not put in the position of being judges, so you're trained not to make those kind of distinctions.
Yeah.
But he's still pretty angry about it. Are you going to ask for full payment up front, or is it like we'll take half now and half when we get back the rest of these? What's his thinking on that?
Pay us for what we can give you. If we get the rest back, you can pay us for that as well.
Sure. Amrita, stepping out of the Brass Bell Saloon, it's still raining pretty consistently. You've got a bag of glass. Where exactly was she going to take this?
Does it look like there's any kind of trash anywhere? Maybe some kind of pit of fire nearby? Probably not if it's raining.
Mm-hmm. Make a general perception check of Silbern, as just from the area where you are.
Right. The eyes covered, so.
Even with the rain, the first thing you're hit with is the smells. You can see people from upper rooms of houses, opening up windows, taking the chamber pot and sloshing it onto the street as you do, holding out some rainwater, sloshing around. You're hit with that. The whole town has that like little bit of that dairy cheese smell to it from the processing that goes on here. The rain dampens it a little bit, but you can smell it pretty good. There's a bit of a stink in the air. The main street you would come down, couldn't really see too well in the night, but in the little bit of light of the morning, you can see it was cobblestoned at one point, but there are deep puddles of like disrepair and potholes that have formed in parts where the stones have just kind of collapsed in or been broken apart, very uneven in places, and branching off from the main street, it's mostly mud roads. The back of the tavern probably would have a receptacle for trash and that sort of thing. You would be able to find that even with a tin.
Yeah, try to dump the glass shards and hopefully they're all out.
Going over it pretty well. It's difficult because it's wet, so it kind of sticks together, but you're pretty sure you got all the glass out before you take it back up to the room. As you're walking back around the front side of the tavern, you can see you haven't actually seen this individual before. You see a younger looking man with this white hair that's like, doesn't wear a hat, so it's all like drenched and kind of like sticking to his face. He almost looks exhausted.
Yeah, she almost gets distracted, probably almost bumps into him. It's like, excuse me.
Just kind of gestures that it's all right. Kind of having a little bit of a faraway look, almost as if he like initially didn't really notice the impact, and there was like the slight of sort of delay before he like, oh, someone bumped into me, and then he reacted to it. And he'll just kind of nod very slowly for a moment and just continue.
Amrita, could I have you make a nature check, please?
Oh, yes.
You don't recognize them specifically, but the scars that you can see on this person across his throat and the part of his face that is showing under this kind of gray-white wet hair, distinct of some kind of claw mark, but it's impossible to tell what has made them because you can't really see them very well.
She almost feels curious for a moment, but seeing that just kind of leaves her something as she doesn't want to inquire about that any further. It's not her business, and that would just be really weird, and she just quickly tries to make it back to the tavern and go ask downstairs about any help that might be needed.
I believe you end up following this younger man. About how tall is Valerie?
He's about 5'7", I think.
So he's
forget
more than a hit shorter.
Oh, so we're awkwardly going in the same direction.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't, like, after the initial encounter, he doesn't seem to, like, notice you or like pay you any mind, and you don't see him react to. I assume not many people are out at this time of the morning.
It's actually fairly busy. I mean, not necessarily
Okay.
in the rain, but once you get inside, the saloon's pretty
Yeah.
full.
Yeah, you notice he doesn't really react much to anything. He just kind of continues to move forward.
Ben, can I have you roll a d6, please?
Oh boy, sure.
So many things being rolled on Sky.
Still wasn't used.
We're gonna get permanently disfigured by cheese.
Oh my god, we have 3 people who rolled a 1.
As you're entering the tavern, intending to check up on the doctor's patient from the evening before, make sure he's not, make sure he survived the night. You do have this rather intense craving for some of the local delicacy of the cheese.
When you say intense craving, like fucking compelling me to immediately go get some cheese,
you're
or
not
just
like-
a strong urge?
It's not like charmed. You're not under the charmed condition
Okay.
by cheese. That
Cheese
would be,
charm.
a little excessive, but no, it's just like it sounds so delicious.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, he's making the conscious choice to not eat any food.
So with both these
Meanwhile,
characters being-
Asuriel, upstairs. You ever have that thing where you're like so tired you don't want to get out of bed, but you're so hungry that you're like conflicted? You're like, I got her.
Yeah.
It's exactly where Asuriel is right now.
Oh no, we've all been afflicted with the cheese cravings.
It's a bad idea
Worst
for
natural
Salty's
one.
character. Salty's
We've been
character was
inflicted
on
with
for 4
extreme
hours.
lactose tolerance.
Oh god. Alright.
Just after like half an hour of trying to go back to sleep, but her stomach being like, no, foot now. She's just gonna crawl out of bed. It's like her cloak like pulled tightly around her. She's gonna go downstairs and see if there's food.
So Valerie and Amrita would be by the doors then at this point, right? Or
Mhm.
near it.
Just
Yeah, she
coming
would-
in, yeah.
Yeah, she would just open the door and just motion him to go first.
Yeah, you would notice like he has stopped in front of the door and doesn't seem to be moving. Like doesn't seem to be as that responsive. So you would actively have to like push past him to get into the establishment.
Yeah, probably after trying to keep the door open for him for a little bit.
He's
she'd be like,
vampire.
okay. I'm just going to just awkwardly moves around him after trying to keep the door open, and then just kind of go over to the bar area.
You would probably be able to see like if you glance back at him, he had this kind of sort of glazed over look, and after a moment it seems like he actively wills himself to kind of put on at least a somewhat neutral expression that is not like frowning, depressed as fuck, basically. And yeah, then
Espresso,
he
espresso.
just moves in after a moment, trying to force a smile.
Who did we talk to that was at the bar? Was it just like a regular bartender dude, or?
There was a very square-jawed, mutton-chopped individual last night. He's not working anymore. That was his shift, which is over. There's a rather rotund woman working the bar this morning, kind of in that barkeep, tavern-maid style, lacy shirt, kind of the corset. But it's not doing a lot of work except for making her appear a little more top-heavy.
So like her breasts are pretty much almost out of it, is what you're saying.
Just about.
No surprise. Excuse me, but do you know of any jobs happening around here to make some coin or to go along the way of the road? I need to travel eventually, and I'm a little bit low on funds.
We've got a notice board out front. That'd be the best place to check.
Okay, I will do that then. I don't think anyone will be looking for me, but I guess if they are, I'll be outside. Ma'am.
Who are you?
Just a random person passing by.
Kind of like, just, clean up the counter. Right, well, if anyone asks for a random person walking by, I'll tell them they're outside.
Good enough. And she just kind of goes out to look at the board.
I mean, it's the same one you had seen last night where you saw the wanted poster.
But doesn't look like anything else has been added since then.
Not since last night at late, no.
Damn it. Yeah, she's gonna go back inside, and is Valerie still staying downstairs, or did she see him go walk up the steps?
Depends on I assume the rest of the folks are probably still up, right? With Acrio just, or did any of you come down?
I mean, Cillian is
Still in
obviously.
Acrio's room.
I mean, yeah, Cillian came down, but then he'd gone up with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Asuriel may have gone down at this point.
She's just searching for food.
He would wave and just kind of moving over, kind of look at her, kind of gesturing if he is allowed to go upstairs, kind of indicating that he wants to check up on Acrio.
Like, you go up?
And you see him actually reach into his satchel, kind of pulling out a piece of paper and pulling out the charcoal pen. Struggles to write slowly. It takes him a little bit. Want to check up on patient before handing it to you.
Okay. Sure. I'm just looking for food here.
Yeah, and he's just taking the sheet of paper and kind of moves and goes up.
The woman at the bar would just kind of wave Asuriel over. Oh, food we can get you.
You got more of that cheese from yesterday. It was really good. Can
You want it
please
on
have
eggs? You want it on sausage? What do you want? You want a hunk of it?
Sausage?
Coming right up.
Thank you. She can stuff her face with that once it's out.
Asuriel is sitting there with all his cheese wheel, just eating that.
Skyrim
style, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Amrita's gonna watch Val go upstairs, but look over at Asuriel and sigh, but as she stands there, it's like, do you mind if I have a sit next to you?
Yeah, of course. Were you already asleep last night?
Yes. And no.
Wow, you must be a heavy sleeper. You want food too?
Nah. Speaking of, do you need payment for this? She looks at the bartender to ask.
Oh, it's fine. I still have coin.
Yeah, the bartender just kind of raises an eye like, why wouldn't you pay for your food?
Well, I was just making sure Asuriel basically had the means, but yeah, it's like, how bad is it? Cillian said something happened last night.
How to put this? She's gonna lower her voice and kind of get closer to Amrita. So, there's something that came out of Acrio. There was just this bulge on his stomach, and it was moving around. So we cut it open, and it had horns, and it was all red, and it had black eyes, and tried screaming at Cillian. But he killed it. And
Is it?
Acrio passed out, and that doctor who helped him, the one with the bird mask, and there was this other guy. I don't know if he's old or if he's young, but they both helped him. So, I think Acrio's awake now.
Does when Asuriel describes this creature sound like something Amrita would have learned about at some point?
Does Asuriel mention that, as far as she could tell, it was a being of pure mana?
Yes.
Then yeah, Amrita, you would very distinctly know that creatures of red mana are known as devils.
Amrita tenses up, and I don't know if there's an angelic word for devil, but she'll be like, can't be a devil, but we should have never gone in those dungeons.
So you mean the cave? I think it might have been something he picked up. You remember all those statues with the pregnant women and also the women whose stomachs were torn open?
Yes.
He picked up something from the ground, and maybe it was that. Maybe that was it. Oh, we should get rid of it.
Considering it was that specific mana, it was definitely a devil that was inside of him, but I don't think I should really stay any longer. Besides, to be honest with me, Asuriel, helping a Cathar for me is not good, especially if at some point he would want to kill me. And I'm sure you and Cillian would feel the same.
Why would we want to kill you? You've helped us. You're scary, but you've helped us.
There's just so much more that it's hard to explain. Honestly, if I could just be somewhere else in the world and have amnesia like you and forget everything, I would prefer it.
I don't know. I feel stupid all the time. But look, Lorelei seems to really like having you around, and I think she'd be sad. And honestly, I think you'd be sad too.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. It doesn't matter. I came
Doesn't
here for
it?
one thing. Yes. When you're a person like me, you don't really... I can't help people. Being around me is not safe. It hasn't been from the beginning. And ever since that, it's a battle, man. Look at clearly what's happened to Acrio. I'm sure Cillian would say something like, oh, it's not your fault. Why would you blame it? I can't do his accent, but this is how he would sound, knowing him, and then he'd make some crude sexual joke or some crap. And then she stops at herself, like, oh god, I can memorize the habits of that fool.
Yeah, you'd miss him too.
I'd only miss the chance to probably kick him in the balls.
Well, nothing's really stopping you. Although
I
probably
do not
better
believe
not.
I do not believe I saw this doctor or anything, as you mentioned. As
Well,
they come in.
Well, you came in with his assistant. I don't know if you saw the doctor, but his assistant came in. I think he wanted to check up on Acrio.
That one-armed man.
Yeah.
The irony. Cruel, fated irony.
Maybe. But they really helped him. I don't think he would have made it without their help. But really, Amrita, please think about it. You don't need to force yourself to be alone.
I better finish that cheese. It's very strong smell, and I can't really stand it. Oof.
And at the same time, it does smell delicious.
Yeah, but she's just trying to hold it in, just like.
It's like fondue. It stinks like shit, but goddamn, is it good?
Meanwhile, upstairs, Cillian and Lorelei, you see the door start to swing open as Valerie kind of pushes it open with his one hand, peering in a bit.
Yeah.
Morning, Val. You doing okay?
He looks drenched.
And yeah, Lorelei would probably see as she has experience with this. He looks tired and sleep deprived as fuck.
Oh. Poor thing.
As he just kind of doesn't really react to that, doesn't really respond to that, just kind of tries to peek in more to get a look at Acrio to basically see if he's, still breathing, still alive.
At this point, you've probably mostly finished your steak and eggs, even though it's difficult with one hand and one fork. You kind of have to just fork up the entire piece of steak and bite off of it.
Yep, pretty much.
Seeing that Val kind of shifting in a little bit more, kind of looking at Acrio would be able to see that his right arm is missing. And you said it's Acrio's arm is like missing from like the elbow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. About at the elbow.
For Val, it's more like most of it is gone, like almost up to the shoulder.
Sick.
Same
We're
arm.
both
Same arm
useless
though.
now.
And kind of seeing you like trying to eat your food, he just kind of gestures for you to just use your hands instead of a fork, and just kind of gives you a nod.
Yeah, use your hand. Wow.
Use your hand plural that you definitely have.
I can't even chop off this kid's arm because I'd be with right hands. Just like, nope, not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Has this kind of
probably works. Use his hands.
and just kind of nods before kind of looking at everybody else, pulling out the same sheet, kind of crossing out what you wrote previously and starting to write more. As he kind of is finished, hands it to you, which is basically reads, glad he's all right. I knew the doctor could do it.
Did some magic work. We pulled through.
Fortunate that you guys showed up when you did. Or else we might have lost him.
Kind of holds the paper back, writing some more. It was the doctor, really.
You helped, Val. A lot. Thanks. Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a look at him now without the stress of a friend dying.
Right.
I think Cillian would, in his mind, sort of draw some parallels, like Vistani, pale white hair. Does it look like the thing that's affecting him? That will be on his mind.
Make an Arcana check for that.
Wow.
This doesn't look the same. This looks more like somebody who has gone through some shit, but it was more like physically, and likely, when you look at his hair, it doesn't look like the life has been drained from him so much as something has made it go prematurely gray and white.
Okay. Thanks. That's what I wanted to know.
Which is oddly comforting
Mm-hmm.
to Cillian. It's like, it's almost like everything he's gone through must not have been as bad as what Cillian was expecting.
The world is made of, I was gonna say weird coincidences, but I don't think they are. The most pivotal moment in my life, I had a man with one arm at the center of it. Now there's two in this room. I don't think you can call it anything other than a fate.
Certainly stacking up a lot that way, isn't it?
This world is made of continuations and folds and loops. Things always come back. I know for sure we'll see the fucking witch again, because of course we will.
That looks more puzzled than anything else. Like, you have, like, the expression that he's like, literally, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Sir, I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ma'am, this is no Wendy's.
Lorelei just like looks at Val and like kind of waves in Cillian's direction, like, don't mind him. He waxes poetic a lot of the time. Don't worry about it.
Sometimes there are words in my head that need to get out. It's just a thing.
So is Acrio, are you planning on trying to make your way down to the post office, or are you going to send someone else?
Well,
How Stinsian is he?
Let's roll one final feel-good check. Okay, yep, he's going himself. Yeah.
No, he's
One
not.
of those
Lorelai's going with
person-
him. If he gets up anywhere, she's trailing him like a
Oh,
shadow.
yeah.
That's
Come
fine.
with it.
Actually, she'll link arms with him just in case he like gets lightheaded or something.
So before they leave, I say, let's meet up again at whatever the guy's name was. House, pick up the children. I need to run some errands myself.
Okay.
Casper Lowe.
Yeah.
Right.
Seeing Acrio get up, fucking Val just starts scribbling down on the paper and just like holding it up, just like looking at Acrio like, you need to rest.
Just says rest all in caps.
Yeah.
Underline 3 times.
Yeah. Exclamation points on each side. Just he pulls his one good hand up, which is partially restrained by Lorelei.
Gently held. Firmly.
You and whoever helped you has my thanks, but I have errands to do and can't stay partially dead forever.
Points at like the stitched up wound and then kind of makes a spilling motion as if like indicating if you move too much, the stitches might, open up again. That
I've been trying to tell him to take it easy all morning.
I'll go slow.
He's not gonna hear it.
I'll take it easy.
I'll keep an eye on him. Seriously though, thank you. Your concern is very much appreciated, but he's not gonna bloody listen to it.
Yep. Stubborn as fuck, that one.
Stubborn as a mule.
writing some more kind of, you read, don't die, kind of, it almost sounds like as a plea to Acrio and then kind of to Lorelei, like make sure he doesn't fucking die.
Lorelei like just gestures to her arm like iron locked with his, like, I'll be keeping an eye on him.
Val would reach into like his satchel and kind of pull out another vial, not as large as the one he used yesterday. This seems to be almost like something that contains a specific dose of something. Moving over to Acrio and then kind of just gently holding onto his hand and putting it in his palm before kind of pointing at the stitch again and then writing for the pain.
Oh, okay. I'm a bit stupid. Does it have like a needle on? Do I just...
It seems like something you drink.
Oh, okay.
It would probably be corked. It's a small
Yeah.
vial, but it's
Mhm.
corked.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll nod, put it in the one pocket that he can reach,
It's opium.
I wouldn't doubt it. Hey, makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Can't hurt if you can't think.
Pat the stranger on the shoulder and look to Lorelei. Yeah, let's make this trip quick. I'll start walking.
I will just hold on to him very gently.
It is an arduous task to get down the stairs. You have to stop halfway, kind of pause, take a breath, take a few more steps, get down to kind of the lower landing where it turns. It goes down to the main wooden floor. Most of the people have kind of filtered out at this point. You can see Asuriel with like an empty plate, and her mouth is just like full as she's like taking bits of sausage, like scraping up the rest of the cheese.
She's gonna like kind of light up and like wave at him when she sees him come down. Like, wait, you're not supposed to be here.
Spitting
Yeah, pretty much.
Chew first, Asuriel. Don't talk with your mouth out. Don't talk with your mouth out.
Chokes on a piece of
starts chewing faster. It's just the dog.
God. Yeah, I'm fine. Just, I got an errand to do. I see you're enjoying your food. We'll be back soon.
Yep.
Lorelei,
Yes.
as you've made your way down and looked over the people who are in this tavern, there's the woman behind the bar, you know, chatting with someone or taking an order, you're not sure. But as Amrita had noted, the frilly clothing that the barmaids type wears, rather low cut, and Acrio, you notice that Lorelei is just kind of like absent-mindedly staring in that direction.
Hey!
Don't need a perception check for that.
Hey!
Abundantly clear.
Control!
The woman kind of glances over, gives you a wink,
Oh,
and that's when you realize what you've been doing.
oh no. I'm very tired.
Hey, you know,
Just
some
leans into
people's
leans into
choices-
Acrio. You didn't see that, right?
Well, you know, some people have their choice of men, some people have their choice of women. I don't judge.
Mine's both. Let's go.
Alright.
Based.
It's the classic Witcher line. If I have to choose between men and women, I'd rather not choose at all.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm going to have either one of you roll a d6 as you make your way out on these rainy streets.
Things that can happen.
3. Pretty plain.
As you're starting to make your way out onto the streets, the first thing you notice, Acrio, is it's a bit odd because you don't really see this in Stinzia. There's a group of people with this cart, and they're going mostly to like residences, and they've got these little baskets with 2 glass like bottles in them, corked up. Looks like it's a milk delivery, and they're just delivering milk to everybody's residence. And they're collecting up like old, you know, the empty bottles off of the step right next to the front door.
I don't like this place.
Was this done where Lorelei was from? I feel like it might have been.
Oh yeah, you would have had that in Gavin.
Yeah. Home sweet home.
Town stranger by the minute.
I'm assuming Acrio finds his tricorn and puts that on to keep the rain out of his face.
Yeah.
Lorelei throws her hood up.
Yeah. So to the post office.
Mm-hmm. While you're doing that, also, I'll have both of you make a perception check. It's easy enough to find. You can ask anyone to point you in that
I
direction.
can't roll today!
Silbern is not a particularly large town. In fact, it almost seems bigger than there is population to support it, if that makes sense. Maybe
More
it's just
people
maybe
than-
it's just due to the rain, but not a lot of people out, and definitely notice the town is in a bit of disrepair. As you're getting closer to the post office, Acrio, you start to hear a little bit of an argument, almost. It's not quite. It's like if two lazy people were arguing, almost. It's a little slower than you would expect. It's not heated. It's almost a little bit hushed, but you recognize the captain from the night before, Casper Lowe, and making your way past an alley, you see him kind of like leaned against his silver Abyssinian spear, and an older woman also with a cloak up. You can't really make out her face. You can tell that she's a little bit older and a bit hunched almost, just having some kind of debate about something.
I can't hear.
I mean, you don't really hear what it's about per se, but
Can't imagine it's anything good.
Take
Yeah,
it away.
he's disappointed by how I look enough. I don't want to make it worse.
Hey, if he's disappointed, that's his problem, not yours.
Let's go get the letter.
the post office, you open it up almost like a burst of dry air from being out in the rain. It feels noticeably like dehydrated in here. They probably keep the water out because they deal mostly in papers and parchments, that sort of thing. But it's very dry and a bit warmer. There's a little pipe stove that's burning coal, keeping the place a little warmer. It's getting into spring, but being the middle of a storm, it's pretty chilly, so it's warmer and drier in here. Thin clerk behind the desk. Kind of notice it looks like he's doing almost like a puzzle, like a little Sudoku type thing or something like that.
Doing
But
the
yeah.
Wordle.
Pushes that aside. Yes, how can I help you this morning?
Letter for Acrio Revito.
Oh yes, we've been holding on to this for a while. And you can see like there's the little rack of cubbies. It goes over that. Here it is. Pulls that out. Folded envelope. There's a blue wax seal with a symbol of Avacyn pressed into it. This is an odd question. You're new in town. We've had another piece of post come in just the other night. Wouldn't happen to be for a set of other travelers. There's one for Lorelei Fenwick.
Yes, that's
Oh,
me.
hi.
Fortuitous. Let me grab that for you.
Lorelei starts to look concerned.
Didn't know you had family.
The letter you're handed, Acrio, it's a bit got a layer of dust on it. Not deep like it's been there for years, but just a little bit of accumulation, like it's been sitting for a while.
I was
However,
in Korsava a little too long.
the one that this little clerk hands to Lorelei is a bit more clean. There is also a seal of Avacyn on this one as well. However, it is in red wax.
Are we in angel detention? What's happening?
Guess you'll find out when you open it. And he breaks the seal and takes his out.
Frederick Wellgast. My buddy.
Lorelei's peering over Acrio's shoulder before she opens hers.
It's nice.
God damn it. Fuck.
I'm nosy.
Given the circumstances, unexpected as they may be, upon receiving this letter, what is Acrio's reaction to that?
Silence as like several tears kind of drip onto the paper and kind of a smile forms on his face as he kind of sits there for a good few minutes in silence staring at the paper. Then he kind of gently folds it up, sniffles a bit, wipes the tears from his face.
It's totally just water from the hat. That's what that was.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Lorelei, I think I'm gonna need my shield back.
We'll get right on it. In a minute. I'm gonna crack open my letter.
Dear Lorelei.
Oh.
Holds up the ladder. Yeah, you're gonna need that shield arm.
What's it say?
And tell about Mr. Pierce. Specifically who he was working for.
I had a feeling this was going to happen anyway, but you know what? Fuck you, Mr. Pierce.
Valentin warns there might be reprisal.
I don't think we're in a position to think about that right now, but that'll be sitting in the back of our minds for a little while. Right now we're in Silbern. So we have Silbern matters to take care of.
Yeah, you're right. Cross that bridge when we come to it.
Acrio, you would know from your training and just being from Stinzia, you are currently in uncomfortably close proximity to the Markov Manor, which means you are in Markov territory. So as daunting as that may be, it is a bit comforting to know that other vampires are very unlikely to make moves in their territory, because that would be seen as an affront, as far as you know.
Yeah. Of our tiny human brains,
Yeah.
we know that they respect each other's boundaries.
It's like you're on the Markov ranch, and the Voldarans aren't likely to wrestle some cattle from you.
Yeah. Guess we're done here. Let's head back to the others.
Yep. Wonder where Amrita is. Wonder if she's gone already.
She doesn't seem to like sticking around in one place.
Was she still sitting in the tavern with Asuriel?
Now that I think about it, probably off to the
I
corner,
mean,
but that's
Lorelei was a little distracted, so
yeah. So they
Yeah, I probably
didn't
wasn't
notice.
looking that direction at all.
Yeah, she
Jake.
would have been sitting next to Asuriel still. So
If Amrita goes anywhere, Cyril will probably kind of follow her around.
Ooh.
she would probably just go to the stables at this point to check on Petunia and maybe the mules.
Sure. Asuriel, yeah, you can feed the mules if you would like.
She will feed and pet the mules and maybe clean them up a little bit from the mud.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not gonna stop raining anytime soon.
Oh, I can check that. And she's gonna do her little druid craft.
You don't get any more of like the little zaps of lightning, but you do kind of like raise your palm and see it gets wet as little illusory droplets fall into it.
Well, there won't be any lightning, but it's still gonna rain.
I figured as much. And a few times I think Amrita will kind of just like glance at the different streets of people that could be moving about.
Roll me a d6.
Alright.
There's a higher concentration of what would generally be considered wealthier people, you would think at first, just because everyone's a little, or not everyone, but there's a lot of like heavier set people. It's almost like most towns you've been to, everyone works and they work hard because this is Stinzia. Here it's like people are kind of chubby. You're not sure if it's due to lack of work or what exactly it is, but there's a lot of people in here more rotund.
I will not succumb to culinary degradation.
God damn it.
This place is really weird. I can see why the person I was looking for probably didn't want to linger.
Why?
I don't know. Something about this place.
I don't know. The cheese is tasty. Also, who are you looking for?
Just an old companion I haven't seen in a long time. Do you know where that one doctor went? I actually wanted to ask him a question. Now that I think about it.
No, I just saw his apprentice. I think his name's Valerie, although Cillian called him Val, but I guess if you want to know, you should probably ask him.
Ah, yes, the apprentice, I should say, not the doctor. Who knows? It's probably a good idea. But I'm pretty sure, yes, Cillian and I will probably not be in close proximity for a while.
Why is that?
It's probably got some other stuff going on. And he said things that wasn't entirely wrong. You could ask him yourself. I'd rather not talk about it, if you don't mind.
Well, okay. How's Petunia? Can I pet her?
There's a brush over there. I think you could probably get the back of her mane on this side.
Oh yeah, definitely. And compared to Amrita, she has to, like, reach up to get there, but...
Yeah, because this is, Petunia's not a riding horse. She's like a plow horse, like the Clydesdale style, bigger, got the shaggy fur around the hooves and that sort of thing. But yeah, very large in comparison to Asuriel.
You're saying it's the horse is an absolute unit.
Pretty much. I mean, she's an old unit, but...
Do you see if Lorelei and Acrio have returned, though? I suppose that's going to be important information. They'll need to know that the devil was in him.
Oh, that's what... Oh. Yeah, that's definitely bad. Oh, we found a lot of demonic stuff down there.
As long as no one else besides all of us know about it. Because we don't know who in this town could be lingering and who to trust.
We should probably tell the church.
Yeah, but no one else to raise any alarm. Church is alright, but even then, there can be corrupt people in churches. We'll just have to be cautious.
Yeah. Hey, if you know about devils, do you know anything about people, well, normal people, but they have cow heads?
She arches an eyebrow. Does she?
That sounds like nothing. I mean, you've heard of horned things. I mean, even Yond, when you killed him and the kind of like illusion over him faded, he had small kind of uneven horns, but nothing like cow horns.
No, that's horned creatures and monsters, yes, but that's nothing I've ever heard or were trained to know before. Why?
Oh, we met the owner of the land around here, the one who's been growing all the corn, you know, from that grows really fast, and his son was just drawing that. I don't know, it's just strange. Just, I don't know, it's grown so fast, it doesn't seem... never mind. I'm just being paranoid, probably.
I think we should keep our guard up just in case, because that sounds quite disturbing to say the least.
Maybe. So what are you gonna do today then?
Probably just go back to the tavern and wait in the room. I can at least explain that. Go from there.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Are you just going to continue to travel with Acrio?
Well, I don't know. I think I need to go to Thraben. I want to stick with Acrio and Lorelei, but I think Acrio's going back to the Forge, and Lorelei said she didn't want to go to Thraben, but I think if I want to know anything about myself, I need to go there.
Amrita, you would recall the night before speaking with the captain of the Cathars at the Tower of Silbern, Casper Lowe, he had mentioned the person you were looking for had come here, supposedly in search of some kind of creature, which doesn't really track with what you knew of him, but at the same time, that's what the guy said. And Casper claimed that there was nothing like that in this area that anyone had ever seen. So he had said they moved on to Handweir.
Oh, is that near Thaven or is that a different direction again? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's on the way.
You would have to,
Can't
yeah,
see it.
past the Cruin Pass into Gavany, and yeah, Handweir is this direction, following the river.
Okay.
240 miles away. Oh, Nelly.
Ooh, Nilly.
We got some hiking to do, boys.
I mean, that's 14 hexes. You can travel 2 hexes per day if you're riding, so it's a week. It's a week's
Yeah.
travel.
Cillian doesn't wear heels, right?
With the exception of mountain passes, even the Cruin Pass can be a little difficult. So depending on, there would probably be some dice rolls that might extend the journey a bit. But if all goes smoothly, it's about a week of travel.
Or
Yeah,
a month if you fall off a cliff and have to do like 3 years of survival in the wilderness.
I mean, that's just Lorelei's life, so she could totally lead you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this ain't my first rodeo.
Cillian said he had an errand to run.
Yeah, first he'll just hey Val, because I'm pretty sure we're still in that room. We want to have a conversation with the doctor later. Are you going back there now? Right? Could you just walk with you for a second so I know where it is? I can find it. Okay. And we'll just so I at least know where it is, we'll walk past. Cillian does all the talking for you. Underway.
And then some.
There's no dead silence, like, at all.
Question. How does Cillian do, like, walking in the rain? Does he try to procure an umbrella, or does he just, like, go out in it and doesn't care? What's his motif? What's his vibe?
Both would work. If there's an umbrella underway, he'll definitely, like, try and... If there's, like, someone selling them by the road or something, he'd buy one. Definitely.
Question. If someone were to have come into the tavern and set theirs by the door, would he snag it just to borrow?
Yoink.
No, he wouldn't.
Okay.
He'd
Live
think
with-
about it. He'd definitely think about it because it would look good, but nah, he wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think
Little bit
anyone
of
would be selling them on the
cheese.
street. You could probably pick one up at a general store or something, but
Yeah, they're all
you'd have to
lazy.
Later then. But he doesn't seem to mind the rain that much. He spent a lot of time in rain.
Mood. Yeah.
But he just talks your ear off. And would probably ask you at some point during the walk, why aren't you with your family anymore?
Before, when Cillian, like, talked and,
Would probably be talking about, like, his own family and his Vistani branch and stuff like that.
Yeah, he would notice that. Also, from, like, just general observance, Val doesn't really seem to smile, but there was this notion of at least something he can understand, something he can relate to. But as soon as you ask about his family, his entire face, its expression just drops, almost as if somebody has just walked up to him and just punched him in the gut, as his gaze kind of goes to this faraway place.
Wrong question. Sorry about that. Shouldn't have asked. Should have known. Might have been sore subject. I won't ask again. Vistani aren't usually in towns, And he'll just switch to another topic. And eventually maybe reach the house.
yeah, not a house per se. It is like it's a 2-story building where off the main street, you can see it's the style where the lower half is a business and then the residence would be up top. And it does appear to, it looks doctor office-y.
Yeah. Right. We'll be stopping by later. If you want, you can walk along with me. Don't mind your company.
It's a moment where Val just kind of looks at Cillian. Once more, not much of an expression, but eventually there's this very shy, hesitant nod.
All right.
And he just kind of goes back inside because I assume he's still in his muddy clothes, probably. And Cillian would notice that. Like, he looks like you don't know what he's been doing, but he has dirt all of him. And
I mean,
so
it's
takes a
partially
little
washed off by the rain, but it's definitely more mud than had been on him, the night before.
Yeah. And so it takes a little bit, but eventually he returns with almost the exact same outfit, just a few slight differences that make it apparent, okay, this is not just the entirely same outfit that he bought in addition at the time. Just seems like a man of clothing that he kind of is his go-to, as he then just kind of looks at you.
So, my leather sort of got burned off by lifting acid. A place where I can find some new armor.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few leather works in town. Because it would, if you're asking about blacksmithing type stuff, there wouldn't be any heavy armor, but Cillian, as you're kind of, just gesturing to, the tattered clothes that you've got on and the lack of armors, you would happen to notice, you look down at your arm and you're like, more muscle than I ever noticed having before. That's good definition there.
It's like, what are you doing? Just standing at a window, just flexing?
Yeah.
I mean, Val, you gotta admit, I look good right now.
Maybe it's the adventuring lifestyle.
Yeah, Val just kind of looks at him, just like this. Okay. Expression. It's like...
But yeah, you could point him in the direction of the leatherworks.
Yeah, I mean, seeing as Cillian offered, Val will just kind of tag along quietly. Well, not that he can say anything, but, he also isn't, overly talkative with, his hands or, he's pointing.
He doesn't have a lot of replies to much of anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. Cillian doesn't seem to mind. He doesn't need a reaction.
The person there, the tanner and the what you would suspect is likely Tanner's daughter, kind of running the front of the shop. Both of them, you would also notice a little heavier set. Their hands, though, it's you can tell they work with needles and leather and that sort of thing. It smells kind of awful in here because, tanning leather doesn't smell the greatest, but you can see there's several, not exactly mannequins, but displays set up with simple but effective style leather armors, as well as tons of other horse tack and boots and everything else you might want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll probably be buying a whole outfit. Good morning. I hate the rain.
Morning.
Today.
You're new in Silbern?
I am, and I sort of lost my armor on the way. I'd love to buy some new ones.
That would be smart.
Mm-hmm. Never know what to expect. Seems like the right place. And
kind of gestures in that direction. We've got some pre-made, or can custom tailor.
They're like normal leathers, right? There aren't many colors there.
Roll percentile.
Oh.
You actually do find there are some fancier leather dyes and colors on not just the armors, but some of the different boots have almost like patterns on them. Most of it's fairly simple, but it's like they've experimented a little bit.
Sure. So I'd love to get like something purple.
Mm-hmm. That's difficult color to come by, but probably work something up.
Great. What's it gonna cost me?
Well, seeing as you're from out of town, and it is the special dye, probably gonna have to go with 50 gold.
50 gold. Are you absolutely certain we can't knock a bit off that price?
The girl kind of like leans over to her dad, who's like working he's in the back room, but it's kind of like the door's open, and leans back to you. Well, what do you mean?
Well, I'm sure not anybody's gonna come here and, buy some purple armor. If you're just having it lying there, I do not have 50 gold. I mean, look at me. I lost my armor. I have a bit. I don't have 50.
So you don't actually see any like armor that is currently purple. She would like have to add that to it. It would take a bit of work.
Sure.
How would you want to make it worth my while?
Damn, these people be thirsty. What the fuck?
Well, I have a few skills of my own. I can read your fortune if you want.
Make a persuasion check.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
I'm gonna say,
Oh my god.
I'll show you my tower card.
She'd probably be like, we don't really go in for Vistani type things around these parts.
That's quite alright. I'm afraid I don't have much to offer other than Vistani stuff, because, that's me. Guess we'll go for normal others then. Don't you want me looking
sure.
amazing in that purple? Can't you just picture it? Give a guy a chance. If there's anything other I can do for you, if you have any suggestions, I'd love to help. I just don't have 50. I have 35 at like the max.
Roll just a base charisma check.
Oh, let's see, net 20.
Okay. The younger girl pulls her hair back behind her ear a bit. Maybe if I could do a private fitting for it.
Yeah, of course. When do you have the time?
Oh, I can make time.
All right, sure. Listen, Val.
Yeah, Val's setting that like, okay. Yeah,
Listen,
this is
Val.
happening.
It's been great.
How high is Valerie's insight?
Ooh. You mean like passive?
Yeah.
Let me check. It's 10 plus
Your insights.
15.
Yeah, he picks up on what's going down.
Yeah, and he's like, yo, what the fuck?
You can read their posture.
is
Yeah,
not
Val
threatening.
is
You can read their posture as horny.
Val, buddy, thank you for your time. It's been great. I think I have some stuff to do.
it's just
And I
waving
pat him
and
on the chest.
slowly backing away.
Yeah, push him away.
And I'll spend some time at the leather workers.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, as that's going on,
It's like,
what are Lorelei and Acrio up to?
Do we just head back to the tavern?
Yeah, I need my shield.
Is the
yeah.
barmaid still there? Same barmaid?
Yep.
Just checking!
My
just checking.
God.
I'm just checking,
We're too
okay?
horny.
Yeah, you are checking right between the tits.
I'm just saying, just like, hey,
That
Acrio,
gaping
you think you can walk? You think you can make it
lets
up the
him
stairs? Or
go,
do
and then he
you want me to still
immediately
take you?
falls on a chair.
I'll, you know, I've been hanging on to you for a long time. You probably want a bit of privacy, I guess. I don't know. I can wait
He
down
looks over at the barmaid, looks at Lorelei, pats her on the shoulder as he stands himself up and walks off.
It's just like, thanks. And she's gonna make awkward attempts at flirtatious small talk with the barmaid, which is terrible.
Can I have Lorelei just make a base charisma check as well?
How often do you work here?
Yeah, the woman behind the bar. Well, you look like you didn't sleep a wink last night.
Oh, is it that obvious? Yeah. So,
You sure you don't want to lie down?
well, I, you know, stuff to do.
Don't we all?
Yeah. When does your shift end? I'm just curious. Like, I just don't know how long barmaids usually work. You know, I've met so many, and I never see them ever really leave. You know, seems like a full-time job.
After the lunch rush comes in, I gotta go tend to the children once they get out of school.
Kids? How many?
3.
Wow. They must keep you busy.
Work you to the bone.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Just kind of like adjusts her corset.
Sweating. There was another barmaid in here the other day. Like red hair? What was her name?
Oh, Samantha. Yeah, she.
Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She usually works the nights.
Right. Right. Does she also have kids?
Well, none that I'm aware of.
Right. I'm so sorry.
Whatever for.
I was trying to flirt with you, and I don't think it was really working. I've never really done this. I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm flattered. Here, let me get you a plate of something. I'll give you a few pointers.
Okay, thank you. If you're offended, you can throw a drink at me. I don't mind.
Let me just say it's been a while.
I'm about to get flirt school from the MILF Supreme.
What's Acrio doing with his shield once he gets up the stairs?
He kind of locks himself in his room. I'm guessing like the shield and arm were kind of wrapped up, so he just kind of unwraps it all. And with the arm still buckled to the shield, he just kind of shakes his own arm out of the gauntlet.
The rest of the group did, like, Lorelei had cast a ritual gentle repose on it, so they actually, like, it could potentially still be buckled to the shield, but they had, like, wrapped up the bloody end already, and stuff like that, so and there's a pair of copper coins just kind of tucked into the wrapping.
Yeah, so that'll just go in an extra wrapping that I'll put in my backpack. Just hold on to my arm. And then I'll kind of push all of my right arm pieces of armor together and then lay out any, let's see, what do I have that's metal? I'll break the head of my hand axe off, kind of lay that out, and then with my channel divinity fuse it all into one solid piece that I can attach to my remaining stump, shield attached.
Alright, a lot of that's probably going to be like leather straps and buckles, but the divinity as you're kind of. You find this a little bit easier, even with the one hand, as you go through your process of the way it looks, kind of like pulling elements from the air in kind of this gold radiant light that combines all of them, and you lay your hand on it and there's this flash of radiance, and you've got, yeah, it's basically a means to attach the shield to the remainder of your arm.
Yeah.
It's not going to function quite as well because you don't have an elbow to move, you know? So it's like it's there and you can raise it up, but it doesn't quite have the functionality. It's not like a direct prosthetic that can move. So it's attached, but it's not quite as good.
Yeah,
It'll suffice.
It hides the lack of an arm. Mm-hmm. So now he can just pretend that he has an arm.
Make believe.
Yeah. So the extent of what he can put back on is probably that. So he's got like one gauntlet up to his shoulder on, and then the other, not even the other one, just that one, and then maybe his plate leggings.
Mm-hmm. Put the greaves on.
He tries to use the metal arm to help him put the chest plate on, but he can't get the straps with one arm, so just settles with as much as he can put on.
At least you feel a bit more comforted with the symbol of Avacyn and the, it looks golden, but it's just polished brass or bronze, whichever you would have made it of, that sun of Gisela behind it on the shield.
Mm. Yeah, and then helmet on. Hide behind the helmet. And then I'll go back downstairs.
It's still slow going because everything hurts, but...
Yeah.
As soon as I hear the creaking on the stairs, immediate focus back just to check on him as you're coming down.
Just kind of meanders. Still no hammer, which is odd because he always has that with him. He just doesn't have the strength to carry it right now. And then, without the shield being attached right now, just his gauntlet goes down in this position. It just kind of sits there without moving. And he meanders on over to Lorelei since nobody else is here.
I mean, there's other people, but as far as the
fuck
party
those
goes,
people.
No one else in our squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just stares at the metal contraption he's made for himself. You managed that on your own, all right?
It'll do the job. I need help with the rest.
Oh, I can help you with that. Don't worry about it.
You seemed a little occupied, didn't want to interrupt, but...
I fucked up. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done
I'm sure you did. I'm sure.
I just thought it's a thing normal people do. So I thought maybe if I try it, I'll look like a normal person and I can, be regular people, normal, and then maybe people will want to be around me if I'm a normal person. But no, it's not for me.
I just lost my arm, and you're worried about looking normal in front of a bunch of strangers?
I'm sorry, that was insensitive of me. Yeah, I shouldn't have. Sorry.
And
Fuck.
I raise the metal arm and I hit her on the top of the head.
Ow. Yeah, I had that coming.
Alright. Well, move the gauntlet up to his face.
Yeah.
I have no idea where anyone else has gone. I think we need a day more of rest.
Agreed. I want to fight Amrita.
Yeah. How's she doing, by the way?
Before Lorelei can answer that, the doors to the tavern open, and you can see the silhouette of Captain Lowe as he's stepping inside with his spear kind of like resting on one shoulder. Ah, good morning.
Turn around, see the stranger man.
Very tall, shoulders back, wide-brimmed hat, blue Cathar armors on, symbols of Avacyn, all the good stuff. Silver
Yeah.
spear. Looks even more dashing in the daylight than he did at night.
Is he portly as well?
No, he's pretty trim.
Okay. Pleasant morning. A lot better than yesterday. How are you doing?
Busy, as always. Glad to hear you are up on your feet.
Yeah. Rough couple of days.
The roads of Innistrad, I can only imagine.
So, weapons. They're on the cart. I'll have them brought to your house.
We will, I suppose I could have someone from the tower collect them. Speaking of, he'll pull out a pouch, hand it over to you.
Is it the full amount as I count it?
Yeah, it looks like 200 gold.
All right. So, we're gonna rest up for a day, and I count out 100 of the few things I've been taught mathematics-wise. It's counting money, and I give him back 100. Half the supplies were stolen yesterday by bandits nearby. I just need a day of rest. Me and my friends will go get it back.
You would refer to the Bitter Hearts, I assume.
I can only imagine that might be their name. I didn't stick around to ask.
One of them called himself Deadeye.
We do not associate with them, but have reports from other travelers. They... It goes and sits down. As the story goes, they were from a village originally. This was some generations past, on the north end of the far bog. A village called Nestri had been destroyed entirely in an eruption of the Ashmouth. The few survivors have made a life, I suppose you could say. But it's not within any kind of community. They took up a life of banditry and stealing along the road. It used to be closer to Gulst. It was Gulst's problem, but... Well, now Gulst doesn't exist anymore either, so they have moved north.
Nestry. Isn't that the place that got nuked that we don't know about? Yeah.
The one and only.
You're right. Right, so... Any bounty
We
on
can...
their head?
I don't want you to have to get involved with this. It's, please, you could take the full amount. Anything from the forge is valuable to us.
No. My problem to deal with, I'll deal with it.
You're sure?
I'm sure.
I can have some scouts gather any information you might need on this. Unfortunately, we can't spare the men to deal with the Bitter Hearts ourselves. Not going that far out of the city, but
Any
what we
information
can
you
do.
can spare will be helpful.
Yes, of course, of course. I would suggest more than a day, though. We want to... Silbern has plenty of amenities. Stay a while. We're not in that big a rush.
Human lives are short, my friend. You always have to rush.
Well, I wish I could say you were wrong.
You'll have your stock of weapons, you can be sure of that.
For all the good they will do us, as the Markovs. Still, it is much appreciated. I can't express that enough. Truly. The morale of the men has faltered in recent years. The tower hasn't helped with that at all. People are getting lethargic. This will be a symbol I hope these weapons will motivate the Cathars here.
You're odd question, but my friends here don't really gluttonize themselves, and they seem to really like the cheese here. You guys got a trade secret?
If so, it would be Cooper Hillcrest's secret. It's amazingly delicious. I do enjoy it myself. Who doesn't?
If you're curious, I could try and go and ask him.
Might be for another day. Well, you stay safe. I'll have those weapons to you. I'll take 100 gold. And hopefully the Forge's blessing will serve you well.
I have no doubt of this.
That's a weird thing to say. Something other than Avacyn's blood. It's like, hey, wait a second. You're only allowed to be blessed by one thing. What is this heresy?
I mean, these days,
Yeah.
but like, it's becoming more apparent that blessings of Avacyn might not mean as much.
Oh, is it getting to that point?
Oh dear. Okay. If Lorelei doesn't mind helping armor, body,
Yeah.
one arm.
She has no qualms with helping.
I don't think we have anything else but 2 days of rest.
Sure.
Then
Captain Lowe will order himself some late breakfast and let you be on your way,
Tip the hat to him.
which he does as well before like immediately taking it off and setting it on the table.
Yeah.
And Darla just keeps her eyes peeled for the rest of the party to show up.
It takes a while.
Cillian's leather working, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Tanning that hide.
It's
Hate myself that I just said that.
I don't even know what I'm gonna say now. I gotta wait till my head clears for a second.
So armor on. That's never coming off again. Because I can't take it off.
like, Acrio, I've glued this armor to my body.
I've sewn myself into these trousers.
Yeah. And also, like, for the first time ever, Acrio's armor's rusted as Lorelei helps him put it back on because just a day of rainy weather and not waxing or polishing your armor, and it's already showing like spots of surface rust on the edges.
You have granted it the blessing of the Forge, so that
that
would help repel some of that. I would say it's just like barely on the edges. It's a little bit of tarnish and rust, but not near as much as you would have expected.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Darla looks like she wants to kind of help buffer it off, but doesn't know if that's even the right thing to do because she has no idea what to do with rust. So it's just like, no.
Takes like a knife and like starts scraping the armor, and he's like, no.
Amrita's just gonna keep her eyes about her to see if there could be anything else off in this town at all, or maybe maybe Asuriel was right and they're overthinking it, but she's like, suspicious.
What's your passive insight?
Yeah, that's only a 12, I think.
Mm-hmm. It feels odd, but at the same time, you grew up in Lamholt, kind of on the outskirts, a little bit sheltered from the rest of the town by Creighton and Rotelia, and then, you know, your dealings with your mentor Garruk, and then kind of living in the woods for a while. You're not the most integrated into society, so things seem odd, but there's kind of that lingering feeling in the back of your mind that maybe you're the one out of place.
Fair point. Fair news. Maybe she'll also, while they're walking back to the tavern, to see if she sees that one arm. Will she have been able to tell that he was in Vistani garb as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty distinct.
Yeah.
Okay. She didn't want to just assume, you know, because, like, who wants to assume
I mean, it
that?
could just be
Standing
a
out.
random dude wearing Vistani-like clothes, but they do have they wear kind of, you know, looser, baggy pants, sometimes the best way I could describe it is the Aladdin style pants.
Well,
You
yeah,
know, that
'cause
don't
he does look like Aladdin. I'm sorry.
right.
man.
It's
Full
just stuff like
Aladdin
that. That's
pants. Not like in the
all like
face.
Vistani. Their individual caravans kind of have developed their own unique styles, as well as accents and subcultures. But it's not uncommon to see that as kind of a familiar theme because they're very easy to make. But yeah, so the clothing that he was wearing definitely has a Vistani look to it.
Alright, yeah, so if we get closer to the tavern, she'll try to see if she spots him, and if not, just walks inside.
Is he still at the tavern, or would he have left?
I mean, he would probably have notified Dr. Mueller that they will be apparently coming in later today. He's doesn't know when, just that they apparently are keen on visiting or doing something. After that, it really depends on if Dr. Mueller is all right, boy, time to work, and if that is the case, then he will work. Otherwise, he would probably try to get some sleep. Cause
I was gonna say, in the early part of the morning, before afternoon. After you've informed him, the newcomers to town seem to have either more business or something else to do with the patient from the night before. He's still wearing that mask and gloves, completely covered head to toe, flickering firelight on the goggles as he's staring at you. Obviously you didn't say anything, but if you've written a few things and indicated, kind of just looks down over you and back up, and you just hear him say, "Get some sleep."
Just kind of frowns, probably aware that the doctor, he can't hide anything from someone as perceptive as the doctor. So after just a moment of silence, he just kind of looks down and just kind of nods and quietly heads up to his room to get some sleep. Probably drink a little bit to make the sleep come easier.
Someone downstairs comes in with a toothache, and the doctor just with a pair of pliers.
Oh.
Why?
Hey, we don't
The
have
string
money.
and a steady door.
It's the OG dentist.
Amrita, you really don't catch sight of the young Vistani on your way back to reconvene with everyone at the Brass Bell.
Cool. Yeah, it's not overly important, but it was just a question that you in the back of her mind. So I guess we would see those two at the bar then.
Yep.
Fully armored, ready to kill.
Acrio, you're back in your armor.
And now Acrio does have the hammer sitting by his side.
If you didn't know, you wouldn't know, because he's got the the shield back on his arm and everything. So yeah, he looks like Acrio.
Yeah. Lorelei, help me. As he moves his entire arm and the shield goes with it awkwardly.
Well,
It'll do for now.
Well, also, Amrita figured out what came out of you.
I'd really rather not think about that, but...
and maybe not in the middle of a tavern. We've caused enough disturbances here.
If there's
I think.
time, there needs to be, but this is quite urgent and needs to be discussed in private now. We'll wait to tell Cillian later. And Acro, at some point, there's something I wanted to ask you alone later. Amrita stares at Lorelei, as a way, don't butt in on whatever conversation she wants to have with the Cathar, but altogether it's this is very urgent after going and dealing with what we had to deal with before we got here. Otherwise, it could potentially not be, not good.
Potentially not good. Understatement of the century, Amrita.
If there's time and if it's a lot, we'll help you upstairs, but I suggest it's adamant now that it needs to be discussed.
Then let's go upstairs and discuss it there. I'd rather not discuss it.
There's like a not a smoking room exactly, but like a private dining area. You don't actually have to go up and down the stairs all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
so does
please.
it look like you can shut it?
Yeah, there's a door to it. Like it's
Okay.
large glass windows on the sides, but it is.
But,
kind
you know,
of
they're not going to overhear anything, really.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
for,
we'll go with
It's
that.
for private meetings and that sort of thing.
Then
You
this
just
is a private
see-
meeting. Let's go.
Oh, hey, Cillian! Just kidding.
Bruh.
Oh, wait, no, that's not Cillian. Sorry. Some randomo person's looking at them all awkward and confused.
Jeez.
Into the room.
Into the secret meeting room.
Sit down.
Rita will put like the palm of her hands together and like lean a little bit, like still talking to where they can all hear, but kind of just looking back at the door they shut and then back to who is all assembled at this time. Given the description that Asuriel here provided, Acrio, what was inside your body, I'm afraid to tell you this, was a devil.
Well, at the very least, it's dead now, and it's not anything.
Yes, but considering the options or whatever else we encountered within that cave has me a bit... I'm not sure what will happen. Whatever items or things that you else could have encountered in there. Hopefully it wouldn't happen again or to anyone else here that could have been exposed to anything close, such as that knife or anything else.
Yeah, aren't you the one that picked up that knife, Amrita? Are you feeling okay?
She just like motions to the bandana. Having this little thing comes in handy.
Right.
Whatever the case, it's a part of the job description. Collecting and destroying things like that is a part of the job. And perhaps it would have been a good idea to destroy it sooner. I don't think I had the tools to do so. But we can always try it now.
I did warn you about picking that thing up. You know, I did warn you.
And it is a warning that I felt somewhere within me, but it still had to be done. Perhaps I could have just smashed it with the hammer, but I picked it up. Maybe I won't do it next time.
Maybe just, unless you have the means of destroying it there and then, just leave it where it is?
There are two things in that cave that the surviving witch cannot use to kill, maim, or otherwise hurt other people. You saw the bodies in there. I would have ended up just like them, and if I left the stone there, plenty more people would end up just like that.
Yes,
Now
of
we
course.
have it, and we can destroy it.
Please be more careful. If anything happens to you, then that's how powerful you are. That's a whole light gone from the world. It is not to be thrown away.
Okay. Be a little more careful.
You're going to be a lot more careful. And if you're picking up anything like that, you're not leaving my sight.
Now that that's out of the way, perhaps either of you two could wait for Cillian to get back. She will look over at Asuriel and the Lorelei to see out there, just in case.
I could go looking for him if you want.
Perhaps it'd be best if the both of you go. As I said, there's something I've been curious about and would like to inquire, if you don't mind, Acrio, that is.
Right. Yeah.
You can talk in my room.
So Asuriel and I can go look for Cillian, and you two can be in private here.
Yeah.
Just gonna grab Asuriel's arm and drag her out of the room.
Okay.
Gonna go find Cillian. She stops at the door like, don't argue while I'm gone, please. Try not to. Just behave. And close the door and leave. Yes.
Oh,
Please
I
forget
don't.
Acrio's not Cillian.
Today has made me realize I do have to worry more about Acrio getting into trouble than I have to worry about Cillian getting into trouble. And that says something. And she will hook arms with Asuriel and leave.
Meanwhile, over at the leather workers.
Yeah.
Smash
Yeah,
cut
let's describe this in every
Smash cut
detail.
literally.
as a disheveled Vistani with the purple armor saunters out, looking very flush.
How much does it cost me?
For the purposes of this, she'll make up the rest after you're 35.
Sure thing. Welcome, Zero.
Welcome to being broke.
Join the
Missed
Broke
you,
Club.
buddy.
Way up.
But you got some.
Armor.
Hey.
Got some armor.
Got some armor.
Oh,
Yeah, it like nothing actually happened. She literally just wanted to measure him. It's like,
yeah, my
so
muscles
did you
are
want
bigger
to?
now, so
Yeah,
It,
it's like,
it just
did you
turns out he's
wanna-
really disheveled because she's really just like forceful with a tape measure.
yeah.
like pulled
Yeah.
a corset like really tight, like.
Just out of curiosity, how much would studded leather armor cost, and would that sort of thing be available here? Because I'm curious. Not that I would buy it, but
Depends on if you want it purple.
if I wouldn't want it purple, I would ask.
Hold on one sec. So, I was wrong. Regular leather armor is just 10. I was
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I actually was charging you for studded leather, so that's what you bought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay!
Just play it off as
Studded
like
leather
the
for
girl.
the stud.
Just play it off as the girl really just wanted to see his measurement.
I have to draw you.
Draw me like one of
No.
your French girls, one of the Raven girls.
All right, because accent. No, I have a lovely time, and then I fucking ditch her because I'm an asshole.
And you know I'm gonna call her the next day. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's like,
stuff
oh, I
like
love
that.
You so
Exactly.
Much. I want to live with you forever.
Peeping out through the window.
Through the window, through the wall. No.
Is that how we find him? Just crawling out of a window?
No, he'd be sort of civil, but he will never see her again.
That's what you think.
No, I think you'll find him at the place where all the children are.
So, they're not actually at Caspillo's house. There's a school. The newcomer kids haven't really been, not exactly enrolled, but around this time, school is starting to let out. It's getting to be after the noon meal. It's still raining pretty heavily, but Lorelei and Asuriel, you start to see like some of the kids running around the streets. You know, they're laughing and having a decent time, playing in the rain, jumping in puddles, that sort of thing. And you kind of happen to notice Cillian off to the side, not hiding, but just like observing from a distance, probably with a little bit of a smile on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely from watching the kids enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Just brisk walk over to Cillian, and as I walk past a kid, I just like step really intensely in a puddle as I walk past, and then just pretend nothing happened and keep walking.
Wow. Evil.
I'm not evil. I'm having fun. Shut up.
You hurt me yet?
Well, you said you're in that puddle really hard. Is your foot okay?
I slipped. I really hurt my ankle. Don't ever talk about it again. Cillian, hi.
Just kind of standing under an awning, out of the rain a little bit.
We did this, you know.
I guess we did.
You know, everything sucks all the time, but sometimes you enjoy a little thing. Anyway.
You're right. Acrio's up, walking. He's so fucking stubborn. I could just strangle him right now. But anyway,
Some people like auto asphyxiation.
That's when you do it to yourself.
Right. Words.
Why does
Don't ask how-
Lorelei know that?
Don't ask ever. Anyway,
some way
Why
in the
would you
woods.
strangle yourself?
You know, have you ever seen like a noose? Oh, never mind.
Oh my god.
We're in Amrita and Acrio are back at the tavern. They're having a conversation that they markedly didn't want anyone else to be a part of, but then they want a conversation where we're all there. I think Amrita wants to tell Acrio what we told you. Finally.
That she's in love with me. Yeah.
puts a hand on Cillian's shoulder. Keep dreaming, kid.
That's when you would probably notice at that point the underneath his wet cardigan at this point is a new set of studded leathers.
Lifts a hand up. That can't have been cheap.
It is dyed purple, and it looks fairly fresh too.
Purple,
I had
really?
to pay a lot. No, it actually wasn't cheap. I had that. Alright, you know what? I'm not gonna boast. I had decent sex with the Tanner. She's the Tanner's daughter.
Covers Asuriel's ears.
What? I can't hear anything. You can cover my ears.
That's the point. That's how you got the armor.
Oh yeah? Well, that sort of sounds prostituting now. I did her a favor, you know?
And I tried to flirt with the barmaid and absolutely fucked it up. So, high five for a great day.
What are you high-fiving for?
I can teach you sometimes if you like. Flirting, not
Okay.
what comes after.
Okay.
Smash cut back to the brass bell type of conversation.
Oi!
Lorelei's upset by the fact that she's considering it.
And then they just fucking beat the shit out of each other. Come here, you fucking werewolf! I'll kill you.
Oh God.
All right, I'm here.
As a Cathar, you seem to have, well, I'm sure you've gone through a lot, but considering she doesn't really stare at the arm, but it just like taps her fingers against the top of the table briefly. It's like, first off, I don't think you should have been the one to have gotten that amount of damage down in the cave. If anything, it probably should have been me. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Accidents happen.
I also realized something else that, who knows, maybe the angels made this happen or knew we would all meet, who knows. Not much of a person that believes in too much fate, but you could have probably easily killed all those other people, and Corsair that also had the same problem that I have. Disease in a way, their mind is altered. But I want to make a proposition with a consequence as well. Seeing as you are trying to get your other arm back, I could probably accompany you if you need the extra hand. Sorry, that's...
Asshole.
Somewhere Cillian is so proud. Somewhere Cillian is so
He
proud.
feels a disturbance in the force.
You son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
I meant... what I'm
fine.
trying to say... Yes, what I'm
I get
trying
it.
to say is that I can help you, but if something should... All I can say in short is that there are two people I did hurt, but the first one yawned. He was also similar to the devil, as I said. that came out of your skin. He had horns in the end. He wasn't right. And I did tear him in the throat as the wolf, but
Sounds
he
like
just,
he deserved
he had killed several people, including a man and woman who had raised me, burned them. Ow. What I'm trying to say is, if I ever get into the habit of my ability again, Lorelei will try to stop you, but I give you my permission to kill me, should it come near it. And I cannot promise it would be easy, given you have to know that it's not normal for perhaps a werewolf to even have this type of speech, as well as ignite flames is what I can do, but frankly, I'm tired. And I only ask one other thing, is that should that come to when it happens, and if it happens, if that this bow and this sword, someone special gave these items to me, if you could return them to him and just tell him I'm sorry, that would be more than anything. And he never knew my secret in the end, even though we've known each other for years and grew up. I feel bad for lying to him, but I don't know. I don't even know how you feel about traveling with me. I'm sure you probably don't even have that amount of trust, but you seem like a decent enough Cathar to ask or talk about it.
Oh, Acrio kind of sets his good hand on Amrita's shoulder. I have no qualms killing a werewolf. I do have an issue with killing people. And I have an even bigger issue killing a friend.
And that's where we're going to drop the curtain on this week's session.
Damn it.
Bro, you gonna make me cry.
That was so nice.